Actually, no, there is some problem. I point.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Please, yeah.
Good afternoon.
Mute कर दिया।
Good afternoon, Kinkini.
यार आपस में बात कर रहे हैं। क्या करूँ?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
क्या करूँ मैं क्या करूँ?
अरे म्यूट करो तुषार.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the day 22 of Techneev, the testimony of science and technology empowerment of the community. Today is the day 22 of the session, and the previous 21 sessions have been great and enlightening because we have heard many stories from the community about how their science and technology have reached to the core and how it has brought about a holistic development in the community. So we will start the session as is the ritual with the previous sessions, with the glimpses from the previous sessions. The day 21 of Techneev was on the theme Integrated Community Resilience, as is the same theme of today, and it was organized on 18th July 2022. The first technology was climate resistant farming technology. Technology was implemented by Gorakhpur Environment Action Group, GAG of Gorakhpur, and they have developed small marginal farmer community of Uttar Pradesh in the Bihar belt. They help in reducing the external inputs such as the addition of the pesticides and the fertilizers and strengthen the local natural ecosystem to enhance the robustness of the farm system of the local area. Similarly, the multi-layer technology that was adopted by the farmers with the appropriate crop combinations has been practiced throughout the year, and it has helped to double the income of the farmers with lesser area of cultivation, and it has also helped in mitigation of flood and the waterlogging issues. Mrs. Archana Shrivastava from Innovation and Technology Cell also told us that establishing the Innovation and Technology Cell at the center of the village has enabled a direct access to the scientific tools and technologies to the community. And it has developed a tool bank for the farmers and helped them in guiding the local farmers of the for improving the soil health. In the interaction with the community group of the GAEG group, Mr. Megnath, who was a farmer from a farmer community from the same jungle, he told us that the inclusion of diversity in the multi-layered farming, the quality and the nutrient content in the soil has improved, and and having many crops at the same time has also reduced the time and the chances of getting impacted by the diseases and the infection in turn, which has improved the yield and the earning of the farmer community. Mr. Harishan, who was the same community, also told us that the use of the portable and movable nursery conserves warmth in the climate and stimulates germination and the early growth. This has improved the quality of the crop that they have been producing since ages. The second technology was the beach nourishment from dredging. While interacting with Shri Murli ji from NIOT, we got to know many things. One of which was that the various configurations of the offshore retaining structures are studied to increase the life of the nourished beach and minimize the effect of the erosion in the beaches. And this implementation of this beach nourishment technology and the establishment of the reefs not only protects the coasts but also restores the beaches which were lost before due to erosions. He also told us that the volume of the sediment or the sand in the nearshore profiles has improved from after implementation of the submerged reef, which has resulted in the formation of wide beaches and the wave rotations. In the interaction group, when we had the interaction with the community members, Sri Kumaran from Puducherry told us that establishment of these reefs has attracts fishes to the seashore and increased the earnings of the farmer fisherman community of the area. Also, it has promoted tourism. So hence the local group has also engaged in the tourism. The third technology was the Molly, the rock bee honey, which is the hunter group, which is from the Sundarban area. The technology implementers were the Vivekanand Institute of Biotechnology from Nimpit. And the director of the institute, Dr. B.K. Datta, had told us that honey hunters and the beekeepers of the Sundarban have been educated, trained, and technically supported with the scientific knowledge and equipment that has helped them to collect, preserve, and transport honey and wax from the forest and also sell them to more profitable areas. Around more than 280 honey collectors were trained and skilled. There was a change maker from the group of the just a second from the group of the Métis group, and they told us that the Sundarban Honey Producer Cooperative Society has also ensured the hunters with the many financial issues, and also they have provided the safety measures of how to cultivate the indigenous technology. In the interaction with the community groups, the Moli community of the Sundarbans, the members have were trained to check the basic parameters of the honey product quality and at the same time of the collection also. And later they sent it to the laboratory for certification. With the standardization and certification of their products, their earning has improved to many folds, and the youth from the community can be taught about the advanced testing procedures to test the quality of the product and honey at the same time. So next, for today's session of day 22, which is on the theme of integrated community resilience, we'll be talking about three technologies. The first technology is on handloom with jagged weaving and design-based SNT intervention for product development from CSIR NEAST. The second technology is from wireless sensor systems for landslides early morning in the Munnar region from Amrita University. And the third technology is on technological intervention in the value-based livestock product from Dr. Arvind Kumar, SKUST. In the panel discussion, we have Dr. K.K. Bapat ma'am, Shri Jogendra Walia sir, Prakash Thakur sir, and Sushma Devi ma'am. Looking forward to an interactive session with you all. So stay tuned. For the next session, I would like to invite Dr. Kinkini Das Gupta Mishra for the technology one.
Thank you, Tusha. Very good afternoon to one and all present here. So as Tusha has already briefed you, the Techneev at 75 is an attempt to showcase and capture how the science, technology, and innovation interventions at the grassroots level have brought changes in the lives and livelihood of the communities and individuals, and how that have helped them in the process of empowerment. And as we all know that our scientific institutions play a crucial role and in bringing the science and technology to the common man, to the society. And simple innovations and interventions by the common man are no less important and must be promoted and made sustainable. And further, there is a need to bridge the gap between the scientific institution and innovations that are being done at the community level or at the grassroots level. So at this program at Techneev at 75, on this platform, we bring together the scientists, experts, community change makers, and the community people, and who actually come together collectively, and they thoroughly discuss on every aspect of an innovation or technology that is bringing a paradigm shift in the lives of the people by generating livelihood and providing employment. Technology that we are going to discuss is the handloom and jacquard weaving and design based SNT intervention for product development. And we have with us Dr. Dipankar Niog, who is the principal scientist and who is also heading the Skill and Entrepreneurship Development Division of CSIR NEAST Jorhat. And along with Professor Dr. Niog, we have the technology change maker, technology implementer, or the social change maker, which is a NGO called Snehapad in Jorhat, Assam. And Dr. Shri Prakash Thakur is representing, who is the secretary of this NGO, Snehapad. And we have Miss Kalpana Chutia from Bekajan Handloom Cluster, Titabor, Assam, who she will be interacting with us, and she'll be sharing her experiences and her feedback in having this technology, how she has been benefited or how this has helped her improving her life through this handloom and jacquard weaving design, which is SNT based for product development. and she's representing her community where this technology is being implemented. Thank you so much for being with us today here. To start with, I will request Dr. Dipankar Niog, who is the principal scientist, to tell more about the technology, about the work that you have done from the CSIR NIST organization, as well as from your individual effort. And I can also see Dr. Jatin Kalita with us. And he's also, yeah, so we have, he's with us in another project of Women Technology Park. So we have really seen quite exemplary work that CSIR NIST has done. Thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Dipankar Niog.
Thank you very much, madam. So just briefly, I'm going to give a small presentation in 5 minutes. So let me just share the presentation.
Sure.
Is the slide visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. So very good afternoon to one and all, respective officials from Ministry of Science and Technology and Ministry of Art Science, and also the officials from Vigyan Prasar, all my dear colleagues from CSIR NIST, and the personnel from Secretary and President from our NGO SNEHPOD, and most importantly, all the Weaver beneficiaries and Weaver entrepreneurs, what I can say, who are present here. So it's a warm greetings from CSIR NIST Jorhat. So just before going to the technology details, just I'm sharing one slide about our institutions. The CSIR Northeast Institute of Science and Technology is one of the national R&D laboratories out of 38 laboratories working across the country, and it is the only one in the NER, Northeast region. So this laboratory was established in 1961. It is a multidisciplinary laboratory. Earlier, it was named as Regional Research Laboratory, and in 2007, it is known as CSIR Northeast Institute of Science and Technology. So briefly, we have 9 R&D divisions. These are all verticals, and we have 3 R&D centers. These are interdisciplinary. We call it horizontals, and we have 2 branch laboratories. One branch laboratory in Arunachal Pradesh, Itanagar, and another branch laboratory is in Manipur. So in a nutshell, this is the activities. So last year we have celebrated our Diamond Jubilee, and we are trying to contribute through our S&T interventions, both in the basic science, also in the applied science, trying to cater the needs of the all the industries nearby, and also the third this vertical is we are trying to cater the needs of the society by appropriate S&T intervention for socio-economic development of this part of the country. So now come to the this particular technology, which is the handloom with Jacquard weaving and design-based S&T intervention for project development. So this project we have started almost 12 years back. In 2008-9 we have started. It is initially sponsored by DST. One council was there, which is called Council for Science and Technology for Rural India, SISTRI. So under this SISTRI, we have been once the center is operating from CSIR NIST, and there we are doing some rural need-based appraisal. And we come up with some idea that we have taken a cluster of some 15-20 villages in the Titavur area near Assam-Nagaland border. And we come up with all the requirements of that particular region, and we propose to the council of DST that what are the interventions we should do. So out of the 3-4 interventions we have suggested, the DST have selected the intervention on weaving, and it was told us that you start working on weaving, and to start with, we DST has sponsored one small common facility center on weaving and textile product development. So after that, when that project was completed, CSIR has started another project that is called CSIR 800. Then recently, after that, we are CSIR is again sponsoring another project which is called CSIR Skill Development Initiative. So through all these interventions, we are taking forward the weaving activity. So what we are doing here actually, all weaving activities done by the weavers in a very crude method. Their productivity is very low. It is not possible by using these methods. They could be able to sustain in a proper business model, and that is why we adopted the technology of jacquard weaving. That means a jacquard machine we are incorporated in the traditional loom. Along with that, we introduced the concept of CAD design, how the different types of design can be implemented and how diversified product can be developed. And this, with the help of the CAD design, we come up with the different types of design. We try to hybridize the different types of design, and then it is shifted to a different machine that is called card punching machine, and we convert the design to the cards, and from the cards these cards are printed and cards are fitted to the jacquard machine. And by doing that, we could be able to increase the productivity 3 to 4 times. That means if we can make one particular product in a day, maybe suppose that gamusa is one very popular product, and in a single day, now it is 3 to 4 gamusas can be made by our weavers in the single day. And because of this intervention of the CAD software and the cards in the card punching machine, we can exactly replicate the design in n numbers of products we are making. All designs are same, so it gets a very good quality product, and we could be able to grab the market. So till now, more than 1,000 weavers we have trained. Out of all these, more than 75 are in commercial production, and they are individually their 1 lakhs to 1.5 lakhs is their annual income. Then we link them. We did not give anything free. Only training is free. After that, we link up them with some of the these funding agencies like AGBB, Assam Gramin Vikas Bank, IDBI Bank, Canara Bank, and we formed some groups which in their bank term it is called joint liability group. And through this group, they got the loan from the banks, and they have to repay that bank loan. But this basic idea is the loan is not imposed on any one woman. That means it is a group of 4 women. If that means the loan is taken from the group. If any woman is due to some reason, maybe medical or some reason, for a particular month, she cannot give her contribution of money, then the others will do that contribution, and the next month she compensates that. So that way it is very much successful, because that there is no any defaulter, and bank is very much willing to give the loan. So this model is very much successful. Now we are trying to link up all these things with some other projects, and our weavers products are now available in the e-portal like Rastriya Mahila Kosh, and we also be able to link up with the other organization like Tata Trust. Then for this particular training, we got the we obtained the PMKVY for the that skill training we are providing. Apart from that, now we are trying to link our weavers to the commercial portal like Amazon Karigar, and also they are now in a position to take order from the different companies also. I am happy to announce here that this Bangalore-based software company called Accenture, they are giving us them the order. So one consignment of 100 man shawl, they are using this as a corporate gift for their company. This is produced in that rural area of Titapur, and it is sent to Accenture Bangalore for their as the execution of the order. So we have taken different types of business model. Initially, when it is very difficult to link up with the bank to get the money for the recurring cost, then we have created one yarn bank. So from that yarn bank, instead of giving the money as a loan, we are giving the certain kgs of yarn as a loan, and they again return it after getting their sales realization. So that way we have adopted different types of business models, and presently the formation of joint liability group for getting the bank loan. Now all the financial, this AGBB, IDBI bank, they have good confidence on all these activities, and they are very willingly give the loans nowadays. So that is why this present the business model of getting the directly loan from the financial institutes, it is now we are adopting, and it is found to be very much successful. So I am here just sharing some of the pictures here, where you can see that we organize some loan mela event, that after completion of 1 or 2 batches in a single platform, we could be able to convince the banks and other financial institutions to give the loan for at a time 50 or 60 weavers. Then you can see I have shown here the particular pictures of the portal where our products are available in the Mohila e-Hat. It is an online portal of Ministry of Women and Child Development. We have also branded our product. We name it as a Muhura. So under this brand name, our weavers are making the different products. So you can also see that what is the situation of these weavers before our intervention and after our intervention. So I am giving just one example here, that during some of the festive season in Assam, that gamusa is a very popular product, and a group of 50 weavers, they produce around 15,000 units of gamusa, and within that 2 months, their sales realization was 52,50,000 rupees. And we made some of these, our products are available in the local malls like Big Bazaar and this type of malls. We make this, our products are available. So this is in a nutshell our all activities of how we are doing the S&T intervention in weaving. In fact, if you go through the skill ministries website, you'll find that India need around 500 million skilled workers every year so that our Make in India and other programs are successful. So through the weaving activity, we are now producing 150 weavers per year. And we think that this is the way by which we are contributing in the nation building. So thank you very much. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Nyok. This is really an very success stories, and that how you have really brought the changes and have been able to successfully in taking the science and technology inputs and intervention at the community level. I just wanted to know, how did you prepare the communities for this, technological absorption? Like, because the problem was there from the a kind of a community side. So what was how did you really prepare them that such training will help you, and the kind of, the know-how that you have provided to the community groups, especially who are women weavers?
So madam, the giving training and these things are very easy. The most challenge I have faced, that it takes me 5 years to convince the first woman to come forward to take the loan. That was the most challenge I have faced. I have given training. The training was free. They have taken the training. Whenever we go for the commercial production, everybody has this opinion in their mind that, okay, give us the loom free. So that was, we have in our mind from the beginning that we will not give this in free. However, times it takes, they have to put their own money in, maybe in terms of taking loan. So it takes me 5 years to convince the first group of some 4 or 5 women who come forward ultimately that yes, we will take the loan and we will go for this commercial production. So once that was done, then the remaining thing is almost exponentially it is increases. Once, very interesting in that rural locations, whenever they see that yes, somebody is successful, then it starts that okay, I will also take, then it takes the, but from 2008 to 2000, almost 12, 13, we could not be able to convince any one group to come forward to take the loan.
And now what is the kind of inflow of these, like how motivated the women are for taking loans and starting their own enterprises?
Now we are facing problem that with that infrastructure problem, we could not go beyond the 200 or 250 training per this year. That means one batch 40 or 50 is maximum. Beyond that, it is not possible. So now problem is there are so many groups, so many from different panchayats and different villages. The request come that okay, this time, because this training we are not putting in our locations, in our inside the laboratory premises. We have a mechanism of some 5 to 10 looms, and we are shifting the looms for 3 months from one village to another village, then again from one village to another village. So that said, if it is now the demand is so much that it is very difficult for us to to satisfy all this. We are discussing with our NGO partner that how to increase this infrastructure, because now there is a different model we are adopting. So there is a group of some 10 to 12 weaver. That there is there is one lady who is actually taking care of these 10 to 12. Then there are such type of some 6 group. Above that group, there is a one lady who is taking care of that entire 100 or 150 group. So that way we are trying to put all the clusters in different clusters, so that their product, that means the technology, can be spreaded into different that means all the locations. So that is what we are now trying.
No, what I mean to what I would like to ask you is that this is right now you are confining to Jorhat or Titabar area that you have mentioned, but are you planning to implement this in Assam, the entire state, or the neighboring states of Northeast? I mean, like that is what, because then what would be the? Do you have any such plan? If you have, then how do you go?
There is another project, ma'am, which we got from Ministry of Donor, that is called STI. So the project is a type of project which works in a hub and spoke model. So a mother hub is created at CSIR NIST, and there are 8 spokes in the 8 different states. Out of all these, the first spoke of the Nagaland spoke is now functional, and we already established one center there with 10 number of looms there, and their training is already started. So we have already advertised there, and in the first batch we are getting some 15 omens there. But their product will be different. The Naga shawl and this type of products will be there. Design will be done accordingly. So now from Assam, all these areas, and now we are shifted to Nagaland, and we have a plan that to put all these in all the spokes, so that it can be spreaded.
Yeah. So for the training, they have to come to the hub, or they also will have their local centers for all trainings and all the technology upgradation along with it, isn't it? Because these days the weaving, the loom is not hand loom. I mean, is it a power loom? Are they using the power loom?
No,
these are all hand loom.
Because for operating the power loom, a higher skill is required.
Yeah.
And also power, you need the power. If power is not there, it's a problem. So handloom is, and also handloom has a different type of acceptance in the society also.
Yeah, it takes care. Actually, it has its socio-cultural, the background that takes care of it. And and another thing is that you talked about that there are each group has 4 women, and this group is being created with the help of the NGO, which is Snehapad, or they do it on their own. No, and how do they connect with the? Yes.
The NGO is taking a very crucial role mainly for the post-training intervention, because they have to collect all the documents, that PAN card and all these documents from the weavers, and make a project profile, and they have to submit it to the bank on their behalf. And bank has some that general process of interviewing. So that interview also the NGO is taking care of.
Okay. Actually, we have with us Shri Prakash Thakur, who is the secretary of this NGO, Snehapad. So we'd like to hear from you, Mr. Thakur. Good afternoon and welcome to this session.
Yes. Next presentation is Thakur's presentation. So I'm handing over the mic to him.
Yeah. So that how Thakur Snehapad is able to strengthen this connect between the science and technology, your NIST, and the community. Mr. Prakash Thakur.
Yeah. He is going to share his presentation.
Right. While he is trying to make the presentation, Dr. Niog, on the chat box, Dr. Ketaki ma'am has one or two, queries, which I'm putting forward to you, placing before you. One is that, sir, ma'am is saying that has virtual mode for training been attempted? Like you are doing physical training, so have you tried virtual training, online training, using some ICT tools? And another is that what is the cost of this technology?
Yes, actually, ma'am, that we can give some basic idea of the this what is handloom, what are different types of looms, but it is actually skill training. So the trainer must have to work by hand, and they have to know the skill of how to do the weaving process. So that is why for the only for the this introduction purpose, some or for the what I can say that for only for the some just knowledge gathering, publicity, that online training can be done, but all our training we are doing the offline training. So our training was really affected during COVID also. So our we could have been doing certain percentage more because of COVID also it is affecting. That is one. And what was the second question?
And then what is the cost of these technologies?
So cost is the loom cost is around 35 to 40,000, and they need around 10,000 recurring cost. So 50,000 loan is sufficient to start the business, and it is commercially viable.
Okay, okay. Another information that I would like to have from you is that these training programs which you are organizing from your center, from your lab, these are residential programs, and what is the duration? And next question is that is there any follow-up of those training programs?
Actually, all these trainings are actually residential training because it takes 3 months training. It's to make them skilled for all types of products. It takes 3 months. Minimum 3 months is required. So the training actually we are not conducting in our lab. That is why, because it is not possible for all these weavers in the village come to the that district that main center here in Jorhat town and stay there is a costly affair. So instead of that, we are bringing the training to their location. But I already told that we have a set of 10 rooms and we shift the rooms from one village cluster to other village. That means in a particular location we try to cover 2-3 villages and give the training there for 3 months, and we shift it again to the other location so that they should not have to come here. They can be there in their own place. That is first one. And the other one is you asked about what was the second one? Cost.
No, do you have any like follow up? Like suppose you first train a batch of 40-50 women or weavers, and then after 3 months, is there any follow up of these training programs? And how much they have learned, how much they have been able to utilize that technology, know-how? So all these things, is there any follow up mechanism of the training program? Even to just one set of trainees.
After this training program is 3 months training. So after 2 months, we could be able to know that these are the weavers interested, and in the last month, we start collecting all their documents for the bank loan application. So by the time they come out from the training, their loans are ready, and they start doing their production. And our Snehapod NGO, that they have a particular linkage. So all these things I have not covered in my slide. Actually, our what we are doing, our NGO is doing every Saturday. We are collecting all the products they are making, and they are paid there itself. It is not their responsibility that after this selling the product, they will get the money. They will get instantly all the money. Then that marketing was done through our partner NGO. And I am also happy to announce you that we have our Jorhat administration has given us one place in a particular market location. Only for the products we are developing here, we are selling our products in that particular particular market location. We have a one stall there, dedicated stall there for that. And apart from that, we are executing all bulk orders. One example I have given, that bulk order from Essential Bangalore, we have taken. So that is the way how we are doing the post-training intervention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Niog. Now over to Mr. Prakash Thakur from the Snehapad NGO.
No. Madam, namaste. Madam, are you ready?
Namaste. Yes.
Am I audible? Yes.
Yes, you are. We can hear you.
Yeah. Madam, myself, Prakash Thakur, the Secretary of SNAPOD. SNAPOD is Society for Northeast Handmade Paper Development, actually. We are associating with CSIR NIST since our inception. We have already spent 17 years from 2005. And when we started with handmade paper and fiber technologies, our responsibility was to popularize handmade paper and fiber technology in the Northeast under KVIC. Then that we received the technology of handmade paper making and fiber diversification technology from CSIR NIST. From that time, we are associating with CSIR NIST. We are a volunteer organization registered under Society Act, and we have already received a national award from Ministry of MSME, and we are also directly listed with Khadi and Village Industries Commission. We actually, in the initial time, we worked with handmade paper and fiber activities, but on demand of the people, we started this handloom activity, because handloom activity is very popular and handloom products have a good demand in our locality and in abroad also. So on demand of the people of the target group, we started handloom activity, and CSIR NIST has come forward to support us. When we approach CSIR NIST, that people of different villages, they are demanding for handloom development activities. They have already started some handloom development activities under CSIR 800 program, and they supported us under CSIR 800 program, and we started handloom development activities. And our initial area was New Sungal Misingao, where we covered 150 weavers, and we tried to develop their technology. Their technology was they adopted very indigenous technology at that time. We shifted them from indigenous technique to the jacquard loom, and after that, we started focusing on some cluster mode in the different areas, and we have started in Bekazan weaving cluster. We have started our work in Bekazan weaving cluster with 365 traditional weavers. We also started one cluster in Borbala area, which is in Jorhat district, covering 178 weavers, and in Silikhabari cluster, we had weavers of numbering 150. So you can see before our initiative, this was the loom. This was the loom they used to produce handloom products. After the initiative, this is the loom. This is jacquard loom. You can see this is the warping process before our initiative, before our intervention, and we introduced this type of warping process after during our training programs. These are the trainings initiated by CSIR NIST. And after training, we provide raw materials also. These are some photographs that after training we provide raw materials from our raw material bank so that they can start their commercial production. And now we have started one initiative of eri plantation. This is because we use cotton yarn now, but cotton yarn is not available in our place. It is not produced in Northeast. So we have to bring cotton from other places from out of Assam. So eri silk is our indigenous yarn. So we are trying to produce eri from our own, and we have already started this project. And we have already identified 500 bighas of land for eri cultivation, so that we can get eri yarn from our own initiative. These are some photographs of eri culture. This is the eri cocoon. These are eri worms. These are some products developed during our training programs. These are salang sadar. These are costly salang sadar. These are mekhela sadar. These are some handloom value-added products. This is a mat set. This is one type of gamusa. This is one water bottle. This is one fancy woman bag. These are photographs of some marketing initiatives. We organize some marketing events also, and our weavers display their products and sell their products. These are marketing initiatives. And Dr. Nayak has always told that we link NAFTI and IDBI Bank for credit linkage. We have some social security programs also. Under this, we do some micro insurance programs also. We arrange exposure visits also. And now KDIC, Central Silk Board, and WEAC has tied up with us for development of these clusters. Now you want to show you some videos.
Hello, we are not able to see your presentation, neither we are able to hear anything.
Just 1 minute, madam. Just madam, we are trying to show you one video. This video is just during training. They are just trying to handle this hazard room. during training. We are shifting their looms from
The video is not running, Mr. Thakur. The video is not running.
Madam, till the video runs, do you have any questions?
Yeah, that's. So thank you, Mr. Thakur. What I would like to know that, I mean, you have talked about the clusters, and then there are 365 members, 170 members in each cluster. So, I mean, that is a mix of both men and women in the weavers, but all these 365 get the training through the from the science CSIR NIST driven program. And how do, like Dr. Niog was saying, that you take the looms to the centers and deliver the training is imparted. So I just want to know that how do you deal with these large numbers, with 365 or 350 number of members? How do you impart the training? That is one. And second is that how really science and technology has helped in bringing the change processes. So what is the, we have seen before and after intervention, but how it has really helped improve the lives and the families of these weaver community.
Actually, madam, on demand of the weavers, we are trying to organize them in some small groups of 10, and we are trying to organize all the weavers of that Bekajan area. The number of weavers are 365, and now out of 365, we have already trained 120 only, and others who have not got the training, they are coming to the weavers who have already purchased their looms, and who have already started their own unit. They are trying to learn from them, and the training process is going on. We have already conducted for 120 weavers, and in this next phase, we'll try to cover another 80 weavers from 365. We are just organizing them for future course of action, future development.
And so how long, I mean, since when these clusters have been formed and they are working under through using these jacquard handlooms? Since how long this, your involvement as from the NGO is there, like the support from the NGO, how is it for, since when? Second is that I just wanted to know that what kind of arrangement or what kind of mechanism is there between you are as a trainer or as a change maker? What's your role specifically? You play a middle role in one side, your S&T organization, and you take the technology from there and you deliver them to the community. So how do you get into this process, and how do you take this process forward? Just we wanted to understand the process.
Yes, actually, we are working in that cluster, Bekadan cluster, since the last part of 2019. After training, the COVID has started, and we have to start the training process. But we have already completed the training, and we provided them the raw material. They have they started the production of different products that taught in the training during the training program. So when during the COVID, they started that production of their high value items. Then the other women who did not got the training, they come to see that, and they showed their interest to join with us. And after the COVID has over, the COVID situation has over, we started organizing them also, who showed interest to join us, who showed interest to go with that Dakar Bloom, and we are just trying to organize them for in the future for making the cluster and for giving them training and including them under this initiative.
What I want to know is that, do you think that the support that you get from CSIR needs the scientific organization, is it adequate enough to contribute for the community group in an effective manner?
This is not adequate because we are getting training only of 2 or 3 batches only. But demand is huge. Not only in Bekadan, we are developing different clusters also on demand of that areas like Borhula area. This is one nearby area who are arranging and training of their own. So we are trying to train them also. So we are also going to organize clusters in nearby Borhula area and Silikabad area. So this is not adequate. We need more support. We need more this technology intervention.
Yeah, and what are the challenges that you have faced in the technology absorption of the community? I mean, you must have, when you have told us that before and after. So from that data, I mean, I just would like to know that what do you feel that science and technology has really benefited them, and that absorption in the community has taken place?
In the initial stage, they're reluctant to adopt this technology because they thought that it is very hard to handle. But after the training, they have realized that this is very easy. It's not very tough. So after 1 or 2 training programs, the things become easy, and we start coming forward to join us. So we are not seeing much problem to motivate right now. In the initial stage, it was a problem.
Okay. Another thing, you've told that you have been able to connect with the local authorities and KVIC and other, agencies who are working in the textile and handloom industry. So I just wanted to know that, I mean, what are the challenges even faced there in tying up with those, the authorities and boards? And especially, I saw one more thing, which is a very, commendable work, that since you have also diversified from there, because you've gone into airy silk cultivation, and so this is really a very kind of a successful story, that this has it has really generated another livelihood opportunities, created another livelihood opportunity, which is really very nice and excellent. But I just wanted to know, when you try to collaborate or try to tie up and create that linkages with the other agencies who are not within the scientific or the knowledge organizations, and these are the different ministries and departments or the administrative, what kind of challenges at the implementation level you feel and you have faced?
When we go to their offices for forcing them to help us, they do not show much interest. But when we organize some programs in the cluster and we invite them to that programs, when they see personally that the things are going on very encouragingly, then they took interest and they come forward to help us. For example, we approached the Development Commissioner Handicap Office to give the identity cards to 360 women rivers developed by, promoted by us. But in the initial stage, they did not show any interest. But when we bring them to the site and show them that things are developing, they are adopting the technology, they are developing their process. Then in the next week of that program, they came to the cluster with the forms and they themselves fill up the forms and send to the ministry for identity cards. Now we have identity cards from Development Commission of Handicap for all the women rivers. So the ONGC, when we approached ONGC for helping us, for supporting us, they also did not show any interest. But when they came to the site, they approached, called us and invited a proposal from us. They were only sanctioned one good project, not only for the Petazan area, but also for the other area where the ONDC activities are going on. So we are going to start this design development program under ONDC initiative from 16 August. So and Khadi and Village Industries Commission also, they have come to our cluster and they have registered this cluster as Khadi cluster. So we are getting their support, and now our cluster is already well known to all the departments of Jorhat district. So they are supporting us.
Yeah. And thank you for this. And another thing, just a question, that since your products are already, value-added products are already on eHeart, Mahila eHeart of Ministry of Women and Child Development, and other Amazon, something you have mentioned. I just wanted to know that, do you face competitions from other of similar products that are there online and even within the lower state or the district? Because there must be similar products which are being marketed by other NGOs or other within communities and organizations. I just wanted to know that is there any competition? Is it stiff or it's easy?
So demand is very high in comparison to the supply. So right now our products are selling like a hot cake. So at present we are not facing any problem for marketing. So local market is big, and we have already tied up with UET, one Bangalore-based organization, who are demanding us for sarees. But we are very busy with our gamusa, because gamusa have a very good demand, and we have already orders for high value gamusas. So we shall go for sarees also, because UET is asking us for sarees and churidar pieces. So demand is very good right now.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Acha, Dr. Bapat, ma'am, you have some question?
Just wanted to ask just small questions. So want to thank also Shri Prakash Thakur for that is Snehapath, the NGO. One thing is, would like to know, since we are also DST, PSA office and many other fraternities are trying to, give this SNT to the ground level through different projects or through different innovation outreach. Now, how is the absorbing capacity of the at the ground level by these efforts and all? Could you see any difference over the years? Number one. Number two, it is written that you are working in the Jorhat and nearby area. Is it possible to multiply or something in some other area? These are my only two questions. Thank you.
Yeah. now the weavers are absorbing because they have already developed their interest. So the demand is coming from themselves only. So they are observing our initiatives, and this model we are going to implement in Nagaland also from 2nd of August. We are going to start this type of initiative in Nagaland also under CSIR initiative for training program. So Nagaland University is associating with us. So we are going to Nagaland also for development of this handling activity.
Yeah,
Thank you.
fine. I have one request to Dr. Arvind Kumar. I think, will you stop sharing your presentation on the screen? It is coming. So this is from Jammu. May I request you to stop sharing it? Because we haven't really not yet done with the first group. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Prakash Thakur. We would like to interact with the community group members. We have with us Ms. Kalpana Chutia from Handloom Cluster Bekajan, Titabar, Assam. And I can see a lot of women with her. So we'd like to speak, and I will. Namaskar, madam. Kalpana, madam. Yeah. Apuni Ahomiyat kobo pare mor logot aru hindi use koribo paribo. Ki khabar bhale ase? Acha. Acha, Ahomiyat kobo aru moi translate kori dim nohole Mr. Prakash translate kori dibo. অনুগ্ৰহ কৰি আপুনি নিজৰ পৰিচয় দিয়ক আৰু আপোনাৰ কমিউনিটি মেম্বাৰ্ছৰ পৰিচয় কৰাই দিয়ক।
মম্পি চেতিয়া, মোৰ নাম কল্পনা চুতীয়া মেম। মোৰ নাম কল্পনা চুতীয়া। মম্পি চেতিয়া, কুঞ্জলতা বৰা, বিনু গগৈ, সুভাষী চেতিয়া, মৃদুস্মিতা গগৈ, বন্তি কোঁৱৰ, জিমলি চেতিয়া, পূৰ্ণিমা বৰা, জোনমণি চুতীয়া, জোনমণি সোণোৱাল, পটু চুতীয়া, বন্দিতা চুতীয়া, সংগীতা কছাৰী, অঞ্জনা পায়েং, সুনিতা পায়েং, শেৱালী নৰ, ৰূপসী গগৈ, বন্দনা সোণোৱাল।
ধন্যবাদ। এতিয়া আমি আপোনাৰ এক্সপিৰিয়েন্সটো জানিব বিচাৰো। আপুনি কেনেকে পুৰা আপুনি কোন টেক্সটাইলৰ ক্লাষ্টাৰৰ মেম্বাৰ্ছ?
হয় মেম, হয়।
আপুনি কি লিডাৰ তাৰ ক্লাষ্টাৰৰ কি মেইন মুখ্য?
বেকাজান ক্লাষ্টাৰৰ মানে হয় কোঅৰ্ডিনেটৰ।
আপুনি কোঅৰ্ডিনেটৰ, ওকে। আমাৰ লগত শ্বেয়াৰ কৰক পুৰা জাৰ্নিটো কেনেকৈ আপুনি পুৰা টেকনলজি ট্ৰেইনিংটো যে পাইছে, জেকাৰ্ড হ্যান্ডলুমটো কেনেকৈ ইউজ কৰিছে, কিমান লাভ হৈছে।
ঠিক আছে মেম, প্ৰথমে আমি 19 চনৰ 26 আগষ্টত আমাৰ এটাৰ CSI নিস্তৰ আৰু স্নেপপটৰ জৰিয়তে আমাৰ বেকাজানত এটা প্ৰশিক্ষণ দিছিলে, 3 মহীয়াৰ প্ৰশিক্ষণ দিছিলে। তাতে আমাৰ 40 গৰাকী মহিলা আছিলে। 40 গৰাকী মহিলাই ট্ৰেইনিং লৈ প্ৰতিগৰাকীয়ে 3 মাহ ট্ৰেইনিং আছিল। তাৰে 2 মাহ ট্ৰেইনিং লোৱাৰ পাছত 3 মাহত তেখেতলোকে ভিলেজ অৰ্গেনাইজেশ্যন মানে SAG পৰা ভিলেজ অৰ্গেনাইজেশ্যন আৰু সেলফ হেল্প গ্ৰুপৰ পৰা তেখেতলোকে ৰিল লৈছিলে। ৰিল লৈ এখন মেম জেকাৰ্ড থাল লৈছিলে। জেকাৰ্ড থাল লৈ তাৰ পাছত আমাৰ তেখেতলোকে কামখিনি কৰিবলৈ আৰম্ভ কৰিলে। কৰাৰ পাছত নেক্সট আমাৰ আৰু এটা ট্ৰেইনিং হ'ল, মানে অলপ আমাৰ আগত চেনিজান বুলি কয়, তাত এটা ট্ৰেইনিং হ'ল। ট্ৰেইনিং হোৱাত তাতো মহিলাসকলে হাল ল'বলৈ ব্যৱস্থা কৰিলে। প্ৰথম ট্ৰেইনাৰ সকলক দেখিলে আৰু নেক্সট চেনিজানত ল'লে। তাৰ পাছত আমাৰ আকৌ এটা হ'ল 3 নম্বৰ বেষ্টৰ ট্ৰেইনিংটোৰ হ'ল অজয়নগৰ বুলি এডোখৰ জেগা আছে আমাৰ য'ত পঞ্চায়ত আছে, বেকাজান পঞ্চায়ত, তাতে ল'লে। তেখেতলোকে আকৌ হালৰ ব্যৱস্থা কৰিলে। এতিয়া আমাৰ 3টাৰ বেষ্টৰ মেম ট্ৰেইনিং হ'ল। 3টাৰ বেষ্টৰ ট্ৰেইনিঙত 40 গৰাকীকে আমাৰ 120 গৰাকী মানে ট্ৰেইনিং পালে। ট্ৰেইনিং পোৱাৰ পাছত তেখেতলোকে যিখিনি গামোচাৰ ষ্টল, জোৰ কাপোৰ এইবিলাকৰ মানে আমাৰ যিখন হাতে বুঢ়া হাল সেইখনত কাম কৰিছিলে কাম কৰোতে তেতিয়া তেখেতলোকৰ তেনেকে ধৰণেও আমাৰ শিপিনীসকলে ব্যৱসায় কৰিছিলে বিকিছিলে কিন্তু ইমান উন্নত নাছিলে যেতিয়া আমাৰ প্ৰশিক্ষণ পালে প্ৰশিক্ষণ পোৱাৰ পাছত জেকাৰ হাল মানে আমাৰ মাজুলী এজন ছাৰ বাপন পাইন ছাৰে মানে ট্ৰেইনিং দিলে যে তেতিয়া জেকাৰ হালৰ মহিলাখিনিয়ে বুজি পালে যে আমি যদি মেচিনেৰী কামখিনি কৰো তেতিয়া আমি জেকাৰ হালত এখন গামোচাৰ এদিনত বৈছিলে এতিয়া উৰণীয়াৰ মাকুৰে মানে 3খন গামোচাৰ মেম এদিনত উলিয়াবৰ কাৰণে ৰেডি কৰিলে তাৰ পাছত ওচৰৰ পাজত আমাৰ গাৰ্লশ্বিপ লেভেলটো বহুত মানুহ আছে মহিলা আছে প্ৰতি ঘৰে শিপিনী হয় তেতিয়া তেখেতলোকে ভাবিলে যে এই 120 গৰাকী মহিলাই কল্পনাই ট্ৰেইনিং দি আগুৱাই নিছে তেতিয়া তেখেতলোকেও কামবিলাক কৰিবলৈ আৰম্ভ কৰিলে এতিয়া আমাৰ আৰু ট্ৰেইনিঙৰ মেম দৰকাৰ আছে আমি 3টা বেষ্টে ট্ৰেইনিং পাইছো আৰু বাকি মহিলাসকলকো ট্ৰেইনিঙৰ আমাৰ দৰকাৰ আছে আৰু তেখেতলোকে আগত মানে ইনকাম ইমান নাছিলে এতিয়া এগৰাকী মহিলাই 6000 টকালৈকে মেম মন্থলি ইনকাম কৰিব পাৰিছে আৰু তেখেতলোকে অৰ্থনৈতিক ক্ষেত্ৰত স্বাৱলম্বী হৈছে পুৰুষজনক নিবিচৰাকে নিজৰ যিখিনি যাৱতীয় বস্তু তেখেতলোকে ল'বৰ পাৰিছে আৰু মোৰ ভাল লাগিছে মেম সেইটো কাৰণে যে তেখেতলোকে নিজৰ ঘৰতে থাকি প্ৰতি পৰিয়াল পৰিচালনা কৰিও ট্ৰেইনিং লোৱাৰ পাছত ঘৰতেই কাম কৰি আগবাঢ়ি যাবে স্বাৱলম্বী হ'ব পাৰিছে সেইটো কাৰণে মোৰ ভাল লাগিছে
Acha, dhanyabad. Just for the sake of others understanding, I just translate it quickly. What she's saying is that she received 3 trainings. First training was the 3 months training, and this has really helped her not only in her income generation, and also she says that she's not at all dependent on her husband, on her family. And she's saying that right now, with the training and using the jacquard handloom, the women of this group, the cluster or the self-help group women, they are being able to earn 6,000 rupees per month. And they were also, the yield has also increased. Earlier, they used to make only 19 products, value-added products, they used to be able to prepare by in a day. Now they could make more than 300 gamosas, which are on a daily basis. So this is and they feel that they can take care of their household, all the chores that they do. They can take care of their children, and as well as they are independent and they are atmanirbhar. They are swavalambi. This is the gist what she has told just now. She has shared with us. Aru more at a proshno hol tomar apunar osrot je problem to keneko identify hoisile mane agote jetia handloom mane jacquard handloom jetia nasil science and technology jetia apunar lokor osrot joa nai tetia ki সমস্যা asile aru সেই সমস্যা bila kiman khani dur hoise CSI নিষ্ঠৰ লগত জড়িত হয়
মেম আমি যদি এতিয়া খুস্কাহি যাওঁতে আমাৰ দেৰি লাগে যদি আমি গাড়ী এখনত যাওঁ সোনকালে পাওঁ এতিয়া মানে আমি যদি মাটি হালত কামটো কৰি থাকো আমাৰ দেৰি লাগে মানে যদি আমি উৰণীয়া মাকুত কৰো আমাৰ মানে মেচিনাৰী যেতিয়া বস্তু তাত ব্যৱহাৰ কৰা হৈছে তেতিয়া আমি সোনকালে মানে কামটো আয়ত্ত কৰিব পাৰিছে বা ইনকামটো বঢ়াই ল'ব পাৰিছে
With the science and technology training, with the help of the science and technology inputs, they are being able to do the work at a larger speed. The pace has increased, production has increased, and income has increased. And aru eta kotha more hol je ei je technology এইবিলাকৰ এটা তো মেইনটেনেন্স আৰু ৰিপেয়াৰ কাম লাগে যেকাত হ্যান্ডলুম বিলাক সেইবিলাক কেনেকে কৰা হয় আৰু আপোনাৰ লগতো এনজিও মিস্টাৰ প্ৰকাশ ঠাকুৰৰ গ্ৰুপখন স্নেহপদ ইনভলভড আছে তাহাঁতৰ পৰা কি ধৰণৰ হেল্প আৰু সাপোর্ট আপোনালোকে পাই থাকে
আমাৰ মেম আমাৰ ৰ মেটেৰিয়েল খিনি আমাক মানে স্নেহপদৰ আমাৰ স্যাৰ প্ৰকাশ ঠাকুৰ স্যাৰে দিয়ে আৰু প্ৰথম পৰ্যায়ত আমাৰ গাঁৱত যেন মহিলাসকলক যে প্ৰশিক্ষণ লাগে সেই বস্তুটো স্যাৰেই দিছিলেগে মানে আমাক লগ কৰিছিলে প্ৰথম পৰ্যায়ত লগ কৰিছিলে যে গাঁৱৰ আমাৰ যোৰহাটৰ পৰা মানে 65 কিলোমিটাৰ হ'ব যোৰহাটৰ পৰা মানে তেনেকুৱা জেগাত গৈ আমাক বিচাৰি CSI নিষ্ট ধন্যবাদ আৰু প্ৰকাশ ঠাকুৰ ছাৰ মানে স্নেহ পদকো কাৰণ আমাৰ ভিতৰৰ জেগাত আমি কিছুমান কথা গাঁৱৰ মানুহে বুজি নাপাওঁ যে প্ৰশিক্ষণ কৰ পৰা পায় বা আমি জানো যে প্ৰশিক্ষণ ল'ব লাগে বা কেনেকে ধৰণে আগবাঢ়ি যাব পাৰি সেইটো আমি নাজানিছিলো তেখেত
এটা বস্তু সুধিছে যে যদি মেচিন বেয়া হয় যদি কেতিয়াবা কিবা মেচিনটো ডিফেক্ট হয় তেতিয়া কেনেকে ঠিক কৰে কোনে হেল্প কৰে সেইটো সুধিছে
তাত মানে আমাৰ 3 গৰাকীমান মেম্বাৰ টেনাৰ হৈছে মানে মহিলাই মানে জেকাৰ্ডৰ ওপৰত উঠি যায় মানে উঠি তেখেতলোকেও মানে ঠিক কৰে কিন্তু আমাৰ লাগে তেনেকুৱা সুবিধাৰ লাগে মানে মেচিন যেতিয়া বেয়া হয় অকমান সমস্যাত পৰো মেম নপৰাকে নাথাকো মানে
Acha, what she's saying regarding maintenance and repairing, she's saying that women have been trained from their group. Women have been trained to take care of the repair and maintenance of the looms. So, the trainers have been, have been even the maintenance and repair is everything is within them. So the women who are actually using the technology are also being trained to handle the repair and maintenance. And more at a question was repair by maintenance cost ase hi cost khani kiman ar cost khani ki hohojei aponaloke aponar income on pora pare ne etu manage koribo
অকল গ্ৰীজে দিব লাগে মানে মেচিনত তেলহে দিব লাগে তেল নহয়
আচ্ছা
তেলহে দিব লাগে গ্ৰীজিং দিব লাগে
আচ্ছা অকল গ্ৰীজিং দিলে হৈ যায় কোনো পার্টস টার্স কেতিয়াবা চেঞ্জ কৰাৰো দৰকাৰ পৰিছে না নাই হেতু হদিছো নাই পড়া আচ্ছা কিমান দিন হল আপোনালোকে এইটো ইউজ কৰিছে এই টেকনলজি মাধ্যমে প্ৰডাক্ট বনাই আছে গামোচা আৰু চাদৰ আৰু বাকি বস্তু কিমান দিন ধৰি এইটো
19 চনৰ মানে 26 আগষ্টৰ পৰা
2000 নহয় 2019 yeah
তাৰ পৰা কাম কৰি আছে
and আচ্ছা আৰু এটা কথা হ'ল যে আৰু কি চ্যালেঞ্জ আৰু কি হলে ভাল হয় মানে এতিয়া তো আপোনালোকৰ পৰা মই গম পালো যে যথেষ্ট উন্নতি হৈছে আগতছে আৰু কি ধৰণৰ আৰু ট্ৰেনিং লাগে কি অসুবিধা আৰু আছে আৰু কি আৰু প্ৰয়োজন আছে যেটো আপোনালোক CSIR ৰ পৰা বা স্নেহ পদৰ পৰা লাগে আপোনাৰ হলে ভাল হয় এটো
মেম ট্ৰেনিং টো আমাৰ দৰকাৰ হৈ আছে সকলো বিলাকে মানে ট্ৰেনিং পোৱা নাই যে ট্ৰেনিংৰ আমাৰ দৰকাৰ হৈ আছে ট্ৰেনিং হলে মানে সকলোৱে বুজি পায় আৰু কামখিনি আগবাঢ়ি যাব
বাকি আপোনাৰ লগত যে মহিলা গৰাকী লোক আহিছে তাহাঁতৰ কিবা ক'ব লগা থাকিলে ক'ব পাৰে কিবা এড কৰিব
কোনবা এগৰাকী আহিছে
I have requested the other members of this community to share their experiences briefly. And what this Kalpana ji is saying that they would require much more training, some more trainings and, hand holding in taking their products forward. And to this, I would also like to ask Mr. Prakash Thakur that what do they require now to take it forward on a larger scale for their marketing and access to the raw material, access to the finance and loans, banking, finance and credits, and finally the product marketing.
মেম মোৰ লগত অহা মেম্বাৰে ক'ব আপোনাক পাইছেনে নমস্কাৰ মেডাম
নমস্কাৰ
মোৰ নাম কুঞ্জলতা গগৈ মই বেকাৰজনৰ এগৰাকী উদাহৰণ হওঁ আৰু 2019 যিটো ফাৰ্ষ্ট বেচ আমাৰ ট্ৰেইনিং আছিলে সেই ট্ৰেইনিং বেচতে মই 3 মাহৰ ট্ৰেইনিং লৈছিলো 3 মাহৰ ট্ৰেইনিং লোৱাৰ পাছত মই আগতে মই মাটিশালত কাম কৰিছিলো তাৰপিছত জাকাৰটো মই লোৱা নাই কিন্তু ফ্লাইং চেটেলটো মই লৈছো তাৰ পৰা মই দুখন শাল লৈ তাৰপিছত মোৰ পুৰণা এখন শাল আছিলে তাৰপৰা তেনেকৈ কৰি মোৰ চিষ্টাৰ ইন ল হয় তাৰপিছত তেনেকৈ কৰি আমি মানে আমাৰ ঘৰতে এটা সৰু মানে উদ্যোগ এটা কৰিলো তাৰপিছত তাত আমি আটাইবোৰ একেলগ হৈ পেলাই কামখিনি কৰি এতিয়া মোৰ মুঠতে
গোবৰ হাল আছে 4খন আৰু ঘৰতে তেনেকে কৰি আছো আগতকে মানে এতিয়া ধৰি লওক উৎপাদনটো বেছি কৰিব পাৰিছো এখন হালত আৰু সেই অনুপাতে ইনকামটো যথেষ্ট ভাল হৈছে সেইকাৰণে ভাল লাগিছে ট্ৰেইনিংটোৰ জৰিয়তে আমি বহুত উপকৃত হ'ব পাৰিছো আৰু আমি ধৰি লওক বিক্ৰী কৰিবৰ কাৰণে আমি বজাৰ বিচাৰ কৰিব লগা হোৱা নাই ছাৰসকলে আমাৰ সেই উৎপাদিত সামগ্ৰীবোৰ লৈ আহে আৰু আমাক সেইমতে তেওঁলোকে আমাক পইচা দিয়ে আমাৰ বহুত ভাল লাগিছে এনেকুৱা এটা ধৰি লওক সুবিধা পোৱাৰ কাৰণে আৰু কিয় কৈছে
মই কৈছো যে এই যে ৰ মেটেৰিয়েল বিলাক যিবিলাক লাগে সেইটোত আপোনালোকে এনজিঅ'ৰ পৰাই পায় স্নেহপদৰ মাধ্যমে পাই থাকে
আমাক ছাৰসকলে প্ৰকাশ ঠাকুৰ ছাৰ তেওঁ আমাক যোগান দিয়ে সেইবোৰ আৰু তাৰ পৰা আমি বস্তুটো আমি ধৰি লওক আমাৰ গামোচাই বেছি উৎপাদন হয় আমি বৰ্তমান গামোচাৰ ওপৰতে বেছি মানে কাম কৰি আছো
ঠিক আছে so what yeah you are so acha এবিলাক হল গামোচা
আপুনি দেখা পাইছে
দেখা পাইছো আমি সবেই দেখা
এইটো গামোচা
ধুনীয়া খুব ধুনীয়া এতিয়া এটা গামোচাৰ কিমান দাম পৰে এটা গামোচা বুনাই কিমান দাম পৰে these are the gamosas that they are making ma'am and everyone for everybody's information and knowledge that they are making these gamosas and so collectively they are working and they have many of them have more than one loom in their houses so like the lady who just now shared with us she says she has 4 looms and she is making these mekhala sador which is speciality and a special traditional dress of Assam and so these she is marketing them and they what they are saying is that they don't have to worry about the marketing or having the raw material because the NGO Snehapad is helping them in providing all these support and also providing all the raw material so they need to take everything to the NGO and who help them with all the forward support and linkages thank you so much bhal lagil apnalogor logot kotha pati so we will now move to the second technology thank you so much Dr. Dipankar Niyog and Prakash Thakur and we look forward to having your products sometime we like to use them and feel thank you so much so over to Dr. Nidhi Srivastava. I think Nidhi Srivastava is not there, so Sheetal Bhanushali will be joining. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, good afternoon, everyone present here. So, as part of the second technology, we'll get to know more about the wireless sensor system for landslide early warning in Munnar, Kerala. The Western Ghats region in India is a high landslide-prone area and accounts for a large number of landslide-related casualties every year. Extreme rainfall events, improper drainage, development of buildings, roads, slope modification have triggered many landslides in the region of Munnar, especially during the 2018, 19, 20, and 2021. The landslide potential is enhanced by 3 rivers that converge in Munnar, which frequently cause flooding. The communities and individuals living in Munnar face multiple challenges during monsoon season, threatening their security, livelihood, and life. Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham has designed, developed, and deployed an IoT-based landslide early warning system consisting of 150 sensors. So, for this technology, we have with us technology developer Dr. Manisha Ramesh, changemakers Selva Kumar, and members of Antonia community. So now I would like to invite Dr. Manisha, who is technology developer. Over to you, ma'am. Dr. Manisha.
Thank you, Sheetal. Thank you, everybody, for giving us the opportunity to present our work in Munnar and Sikkim on landslide early warning system. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, please. Yes, Dr. Manisha, please continue. We are able to hear.
I'll just quickly go over the slides to quickly give the introduction to the project. So I am representing Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, which is started by the world-renowned humanitarian Amma, where we focus on education for life and education for living, compassion-driven research and global impact. This is one of the projects which will showcase how the faculty at the university is able to take up compassion-driven research, which can have a global impact. And all these works over the years have brought in the university as number 5 in the country and in the THE World Impact Rankings, first in the India and 41st in the world. I belong to the Center for Wireless Networks and Applications, where we work on different areas. And what I'm going to present today is on the landslide early warning system. And for this particular area of work, our vision is on disaster risk reduction through real-time multi-hazard monitoring and early warning systems integrated with co-designing and community engagement programs. Let me just go a little more deeper into the IoT system which we have deployed for the landslide early warning. So if you look at the landslides in the whole of the world, there is a large number of landslides, and its impact is on major hotspots are on southern Himalayan arc and southwest coast. And the major triggers are seasonal monsoon or earthquake induced. And in India, more than 12.6% of Indian landmass is prone to landslide, and the fatal landslides are higher in India, and southern edge of Himalayan arc is declared edge of Himalayan arc is declared as the first, and the southwest coast of India is declared as a second landslide hotspot. And over the years, if you can see that the extreme precipitation has increased, and large number of events triggering floods and landslides are prevalent from 2018 onwards, with more than 167 major landslides in 2018 alone. A US dollar $5.8 billion property damage has happened. And we can see that every year more than 500 individuals have died due to landslides. These are some of the snapshots of landslides which are happening at parts of Kerala, which are very spatially large spatial impact it is bringing. But at the same time, the time scale we get to understand that a landslide is initiating is very less. You can see that very large, and this is in one of the landslide where there are nearly 80 people have died. And if you see here, it's like kilometers the landslide is, and it has washed away the whole town itself. And lot of areas, this is in Karnataka, where also very large landslides are happening. This is from Tirumala Hills in Andhra Pradesh, where rock slides are happening. So all this tells us that we need to develop systems and solutions for effective monitoring and early warning of multi-hazards for enhancing integrated community resilience. So why we need the community resilience is majorly because of the extreme variability in weather patterns, uncertainty in disaster, and increase in frequency of disasters. So we have to build the community in such a way that they are prepared, they are able to respond, they are able to recover, and the mitigations also can be brought in, so that better resilience can be built in. And we have to build solutions which are scalable in individual level, community level, local and regional levels. But what we see today, where we lack is in the community lacks in understanding and act based on imminent disasters, and it lacks in measuring the triggers and assess the real-time risk and disseminate the real-time information regarding the disasters. And it also initiates real-time disaster management and mapping of safe routes and safe grounds for evacuation. On top of that, in the recent years, the assessment of effects of cascading multi-hazard scenarios and their interactions is what we are lacking. All these are aggravated by the lack of trained community level disaster champions. So to build the community resilience, systems and solutions need to measure or monitor, discover the knowledge, forecast, and early warn. We all these need different subsystems to do actual physical sensing, virtual sensing, or participatory based sensing, continuous and adaptive data collections, and different models to understand or derive the knowledge using social models, statistical, hydrological models. And all this data needs to be fed in such a manner that it is able to forecast the weather, the hydrological things, and also slope instability, and use them for early warn using the artificial intelligence models or multi-phase, multi-scale decision models, etc. So an effective disaster management need to need to do the dynamic risk assessment, where they need to capture triggers, identify interrelationship, forecast imminent multi-hazard event, predict the cascaded impacts, thus leading to saving lives and community disaster resilience. So this brings in the challenge of bringing in multi-scale needs, multi-pronged approach, transdisciplinary capabilities, and community empowerment. The system which we have deployed in Western Ghats and in Northeastern Himalayas is the Amrita's IoT system for landslide monitoring, detection, and early warning. So it has been looked at in such a manner that there are different types of landslide, different types of triggering parameters, initiation thresholds, runoff areas are there. So we also need to know how the extreme weather is changing. The increased level of unpredictability is making it complex, so that the lead time we need have very less, and the information has to be disseminated so that rescue and evacuation can be done. So Amrita has built the world's first IoT-based wireless sensor network system for detection and early warning of landslides, where the major thing is we need to sense the deep earth layers, so that each of the soil layer, how it is behaving, we need to understand. And based on that, those data which we measure, using that, we need to develop the prediction models using AI and ML integrated models, and develop the site-specific thresholds and regional thresholds, which need to be communicated to the community members and the other stakeholders, so that we can evacuate people and save life. And Amrita has the deployments, as I said, in two parts, Western Ghats and Northeastern Himalayas. And over the years from 2009 onwards, in 2011, 2013, 18, we work very closely with the Kerala State Disaster Management and Sikkim State Disaster Management in effectively issuing these warnings. So the most important part is it integrated the sensing system, connected it through the wireless network, integrated sensing system, connected through the wireless network, and it has the real-time visualization system to save the life, where you have it looks into heterogeneous parameters such as rainfall rate, moisture rate, pore pressure rate, the movement sensing, etc., in an integrated manner. So, and does the edge analytics, and then collectively decide based on the context what data you need to collect, and based on that you send it through the communication network, which is 24/7 operational landslide monitoring system, integrated with the required softwares, where all the field data is connected through the prop network, is sent to the field network, and then it is sent to the centralized network called adaptive WAN, where it goes through the complex model and then issues the warning. All this data can be visualized in real time from anywhere from around the world, and we are able to issue the warning based on that. What is the crux and what makes it different is the decision support system, which has a decade-long data with it, and the real-time analytics and adaptive learning forecasting. So if you see that in Munnar, we have nearly 200 sensors which are deployed beneath the earth, and in Sikkim, we are nearly 200 sensors, 150 plus sensors are deployed in Sikkim. These sensors are continuously collecting the data, and the first deployment in Munnar happened in 2009. So more than a decade of data we have. Those data we use for the real-time data analysis and adaptive learning, where we use decision models using machine learning and artificial intelligence to look at the meteorological, geological, and hydrological and vibrational data. At the same time, look at how the spatio-temporal correlations are happening, and then develop threshold models based on machine learning. We have also worked very closely with the state disaster management to collect the rain data and the IMD. We have an agreement with the IMD in working on climate resilient, and also with the multi-hazard prone and impact-based warning coming up. So where we have this data coming from different rainfall rain gauges, weather stations at different parts of the state. This is from Sikkim, and then based on that, we have developed regional rainfall threshold and site-specific rainfall threshold, which helps the government to act on in multiple levels of with a specific reliability to give them the warning to the people. And we use those rainfall data to actually predict what is going to be the pore pressure building inside the mountain, and at what time you are expecting a slope to be unstable. So here this diagram shows that if you see the blue line, if you see that a SVR adapt to the red line, it is the predicted one, and the blue line is the actual one, and it has almost going in line with them. So we are able to do this forecasting from 3 hours to 24 hours based on the type of landslides it is varying. If you see in the Sikkim also, based on the census system, we are able to say where the slip surface is going to happen. If you see in this data, in 2019, this is the blue color, and 2020, it is the green color you can see. When you deployed, it was at this position, and over time it has moved, slipped to this position. So the government is able to know that at 14 meter there is a slip zone, and in the next year it again enhanced to 16 meter. That means that much amount of soil is about, if a landslide happens, that much amount of soil will fall on the people, and that will actually affect that much impact that much community members there. So now the Sikkim State Disaster Management, by having this data, they have initiated the mitigation efforts for those area, because they are able to understand the volume of land it is going to come and at what rate it is moving. We also have geophone network, which is able to collect the data, which are also able to get data which are before the sliding happens and after the sliding happens. Also, what are the data and changes, the pre and post scenario also signals are we are able to capture, so that better models can be developed. We are not leaving only with the sensor system. We also have built an integrated laboratory setup, a physical setup, which will allow us to actually to do experimentation by varying different rainfall rate. There is a rainfall simulator, by varying different slope angles and also by varying different types of soil and different types of soil layers, and by varying pore pressure also. So thus we study different things and different types of soil types, different types of scenarios, and then develop the threshold models accordingly, which also helps us to validate whatever. All these things are integrated into the multi-level warning system, where the first level will look at with the global rainfall thresholds, second level into pore pressure, moisture, and site specific, third level dynamically learned systems, fourth level it will go into the movement and vibration. All this, each of these level, in the first level it goes to researchers and then to the government and then media and public. But we will not issue an automatic warning unless we validate with the field data, the landslide laboratory, and the different models which we have developed. After that only the warnings start issuing. And if you see that in the year 2018, we were able to actually issue effective warnings. 3 effective warnings were given on 12th July, 15th July, and 9th August, and people were evacuated and life was saved. What we were able to also achieve, that we were able to give regional landslide warning. We were able to tell them within the 10 kilometer area, more landslides are going to happen, and after the warning only landslide started happening. And we were able to also very clearly tell that in site specific area it will not happen, because where we had more sensors than rain gauges, which was giving the in-depth sense of the underlying earth surface and its behavior. So it is enhancing the reliability of landslide warning. And in the 2020, we were able to issue the landslide warning to Kerala State Disaster Management, the first level regional warning and also second level regional warning to both things. And after that, only the Rajamalai landslides has happened in 2020. And how we have done this, the most important is the buy-in by the community, whatever you want to do is. So when we started working with the community, one of the major thing is involving the community from day one. So before even we start the deployment, the first thing we have done is with the state government and with the Tahsildar and the village officers, we met the community, we discussed with them what is their challenge and how they want us to build. And then based on that, we have built the system. And when we were building, we involved the community. They involved in actually building the system along with us. And at the same time, a small group has formed there where we were able to identify who are the change makers in the community. And we brought in all the multi-stakeholders, the police, the district collector, the sub-collector, the tahsildar, the village officers, the women self-help group, all of them has been brought in involving in this system and training them and capacity building. So we have every year before monsoon, we have multiple workshops we conduct. We also have built mobile application for them to track the landslides which are going to happen. We have a WhatsApp group there where they communicate among us what are the events they are seeing, how the change in climate is happening, what are the data from the different rain gauges in that area coming in, etc. And we use early warnings of hazards using social media mining and multi-hazard tracking of mobile life, and real-time disaster management, and a rescue and relief application for a 24-hour call center and a mobile application Amrita Kripa has been developed, where we also to enhance the community's participation and their understanding of what the landslide is. We have built as part of the landslide project, we in collaboration with our partners, which includes also GSI, we have built the mobile application called a Landslide Tracker, which has a multilingual application in English, Hindi, Tamil, and Malayalam, where people where the community members and also administrators are given training as for capturing the data of landslides, its triggers, its events, etc., location, causative factors, the impact, etc. And it has multiple levels: level 1, level 2, level 3. With it, and based on the training, each of the people are given the permission to work on that. So it will help us to to understand the triggers, develop early warning, and initiate rescue and relief, because they are able to capture the spatio-temporal aspects and bring the situational awareness and disaster management. And thus, there is a training which is happening over this through the landslide classification, the mobile application awareness. Then they are trained to put the input of time, event, location, etc., and this bringing in spatio-temporal, so that they will have landslide events, map the landslide events, track landslide, summarize, and adaptive dissemination through this particular mobile application by reporting event details, event, etc., and mapping and etc., and visualizing all this data. Not only that, we also have developed a social media based approach where we collect the data of their social media tweets and understand what we are hearing on both sides are same or not. Is multiple people are saying from which location it is coming, what is the triggers, etc. And once we have all that, we also have a mobile application to look into the relief and rescue effort, which is a crowdsourced application which has extensively used using Kerala floods 2018 with more than 1 lakh events has been reported in the whole thing, and a 24-hour call center operated based on this particular mobile application. So all this has been integrated into the early warning system with the integrating site-specific characteristics of geology, hydrology, meteorology, etc., and landslide laboratories for understanding landslide phenomena, its experimentation, its interrelationship, etc., modeling and simulation with parameter-based modeling, slope instability modeling, and sensor systems, and its required power system, signal processing, etc., the algorithms required for data collection and aggregations, communication systems for underground communication, heterogeneous communication, fault-tolerant communication, software systems for lightweight management, service-oriented systems, remote configuring system, remote triggering system, dynamic learning systems for multi-parameter interrelationship and dynamic threshold, and then multi-level warning systems also for visualization. We have not stopped with that. We also have initiated a multi-hazard study with rain, landslides, and flood in collaboration with the University of Trento, where we are looking in for the 2018 rainfall, which was one of the worst scenarios for Kerala. We went to the sites where, and we did the estimation of the order of magnitude of flood event occurred in 16 August 2018 in Old Munnar area, developed models for deriving discharge rate in selected river, provide the expected flood level and assessment of combined impact of landslide and flooding by sensing and measuring geometry of cross-section, surface velocity, bathymetry, geometry of reference elements, and photos. And we were able to map where all the landslide, where all the floods has coming at inundating us. And this is used for actually deriving the discharge rates for the cross-section near each of the rivers, and thus coming up the summary of the lower discharge and also the higher discharge in each of these areas. So this, we know that the community resilience is of paramount importance, and we need to have a multi-phase, multi-scaled integrated approach is needed to capture the dynamics of landslide, and development of systems and solutions for adaptive and integrated community resilience is required. That made us to work on these solutions. And thus, we build the integrated approach of data collection through heterogeneous sensors, which are site-specific, which are also crowdsourced data. And then an event detection framework looks at data tagging and classification and coming up with models, and then learning from that. And using those learnings, a multi-scale early warning system is brought in, and alert is disseminated in a customized manner with respect to the National Disaster Management's rules and protocols. And thus, the alert services go on the emergency communication. This, for the landslide disaster risk reduction, we have looked into a 5-pronged approach where with vulnerability mapping, geotechnical analysis, real-time monitoring of landslide, multi-scale decision models, and early warning, community resilience programs also, and regular capacity building workshops and training for bringing them come to a state where they enhance their capacity and take care of their resilience. And we have not stopped there. We also work very closely in building regional and collaborative activities by working with government, NGOs, universities, and national institute, and also with the collaborating government agencies as NDMA and Ministry of Earth Science, Ministry of Mines, Geological Survey of India, and State Disaster Management, and international collaborations with King's College London, UK Met Office, with the British Geological Survey, National Research Council of Italy, etc. A lot of people which we work as part of different projects. In the flood, we worked with the Indo-German project as it, and with the European Commission also we have worked with the products. So thus we have brought in an adaptive and integrated community disaster resilience. For preparedness, we use our crowdsourced mobile app, social media based awareness program, IoT system for monitoring and response, Amrita mobile application, 24/7 call center and in-field monitoring, mitigation IoT system for early warning, risk communication using mobile application, and early warning using social media, adaptive and integrated community disaster resilience. Thus, we were able to achieve the solutions adaptable to dynamic risk variation and integration of technical, social, and managerial solutions. This work has also brought in several US patents. This is the first patent which is on network-based system for predicting landslides, and this is there is another Indian patent also on adaptive energy management and methods for this one. We have got the NABARD Rural Innovation Award, and the center is awarded as a World Center of Excellence on Landslide Disaster Risk Reduction by International Program of Landslide continuously for the last 8 years. And in the whole world, there are only 19 centers, and Amrita is one of the centers. And we have been, Rajya Sabha has encouraged a system to take forward in the year 2012, and in the year 2018, Indian Science Congress Premium has lauded our innovation in his speech as one among the four systems which he has talked about as a Make in India system is our system which is deployed in Sikkim. And we have got the unique opportunity to present our work even in the UN headquarters and the United Nations academic impact about our landslide system and how the society can be saved, their life can be saved. All this we are able to do because of the continuous motivation and path provided by our Chancellor Amma, where she has put in as compassion-driven research, a fundamental change in research perspective, where Amma has said, for Amma, compassion is the most important factor in life. Compassion is the first step to be taken, and if we take that step courageously without fear, then everything else will follow spontaneously. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So I would like to ask you a few questions about your presentation. So as you mentioned that there could be few triggering parameters for landslides. So what are the, like, what do you claim it as the triggering parameters?
So in India, if you see, the major triggers are either rainfall or earthquake. But there are other parameters over the time where weathering can happen is one of the things. The slope angle is another one. Then another one is human interventions. Like people, most of the places, it is a human anthropogenic effect where they will go and cut the toe region of the hill and then build a house, which will trigger landslide in the next monsoon because there is no support for the mountain and then it falls off. So the majorly, it is major landslides in India is majorly due to rainfall based landslides actually. So heavy rainfall, which will percolate the water down beneath the earth, and that increases the pressure inside the soil particles. And because of that pressure, then liquefaction happens, and then the landslide happens because of that. Slope will become unstable because you don't have to have the strength to cope up against the gravitational power, and then it falls off.
Okay. And as you mentioned, like there could be one of the reason is human intervention. So what are the preventive measures or awareness programs that could be arranged, or whether your organization has arranged it to prevent such like the landslides which are taking place because of human intervention?
So the major reasons, one of the major reason you can see the drainage patterns. Most of the houses in villages, they just openly drain the water, which will basically percolate down. So we basically go to those places and train them saying that you should not do drainage like this, then we map it and we try to give a different solution to them to provide the drainage, taking care of the drainage. The second thing what we will do is also one of the major thing, most of these hilly terrains, even if you take our northeastern areas, we cannot ask the people to move out of the mountain because there is no other region for them to live. That is where their livelihood is. Now, the only way is like, how do you make sure that they don't add more weight on the mountain by draining this water into it, or by having, excavating the mountain in a wrong manner where it becomes quickly unstable. So we have to tell them that no, you cannot do these things, these parts you should not cut, and if you want to cut, have a consultation with the geologist before you do those things. It is a process, it is a long process you have to go through with the government and the officials. Several times this has to go through and then take forward. What I have seen with the people is, the moment you train them, and also you can train them by also saying that, okay, these are the pre-events you will see before a landslide happens. So you train them to understand, am I seeing something like that? Then I have to be more careful. Then I have to move out. That is another way of saving life also. See, so there are different approaches we have to do. Is one is trying to move them out. That is majorly done by government. In Kerala, I know that Kerala government has offered something like 10 lakh rupees for them to move out of the place from where they are staying. But when you ask the people, they don't want to move out because their livelihood is dependent on that region. So different approaches, we work with different stakeholders in multiple ways to help them out and support them.
Okay. And so, ma'am, how do you decide the specific site of landslide, like the sensor, where the sensor needs to be installed? So how do you decide that location?
So there are two questions here. One is, how do you research the landslide prone area where you want to deploy? Majorly, we work with the state government and their disaster management authorities, which are the landslide prone areas. Then our geologists work with them, go to field visits and assess each of the site, and based on the vulnerability, whichever place have the highest vulnerability impacting people, that's the place we will take it up. And once we take it up, we will have to go through a very detailed field survey to understand the field and its behavior. Where are we seeing the vulnerable points? What are the things we are seeing? Whether are we seeing long cracks? Are we seeing creeks happening there, etc.? That all will be mapped. And what is the slope angle? All these drainage patterns, all those things will be mapped and to understand the site. And the second thing the third thing what we do is, when we start borehole on these different sites, based on those, we will map at areas where we want each of the deeper probe or the sensors to be deployed. And once we start drilling these places, we also collect a lot of soil or rock samples from there. Some of them are in situ testing we will do, some of them laboratory test we will do, and then we understand which are the vulnerable layers. And based on its vulnerability, what is the type we will actually deploy the sensors. Where we want the pore pressure sensor, where we want the strain gauges or inclinometers, that we define with respect to the structure, the geological structure of that area, and hydrological parameters, where are the water flow lines coming in, etc. We will look into it, and then based on that, we decide where the sensors needs to be deployed.
Okay. And what is the range of sensor that can monitor a specific area? So what would be the range that it could monitor?
So each of the sensors differ. Like, you have rain gauge, which will cover from based on the cloud prevalence. It's from 5 kilometer to 10 kilometer. You can basically understand the rain patterns approximately. Then you have the moisture sensor, which is a point sensor, which is basically telling you at this point, this is what the moisture. But you know that if the pattern is the soil layer is of the same thing, you would expect the same thing at the same depth. So which will basically say that it gives you a virtual sensing. Even though it is giving only a point parameter, it will give a virtual area which is applicable for that sensor. Then pore pressure also is a point-based sensor, where you are saying at that point, what is the pressure between the pores of the soil, what is the pressure you are seeing. And that based on that, the pore pressure sensor. The geophone is like kilometers, it is applicable with respect to sensing. Then the tilt meter or the inclinometer is based on the soil layers. It's like it is a deep multiple layers of inclinometer sensors of how the slope angle is going to change based on the tilting on soil layers. So it is a depth-wise sensor you are getting. So how the tilting of the whole mountain is happening in a depth-wise, that's what the sensors will be like all along like this in a vertical manner. So it will give us that. So each of these gives different types of of sensing values. And then it is up to us how we dynamically connect them each, and then say that okay, there is a landslide is going to happen.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. So now I would like to invite. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
One question to Dr. Manisha. Thank you, Dr. Manisha. Good to see your presentation again. Very important work you people have carried out. One question I would like to ask, because this you have done at the Munnar area. If we want to replicate such things, already you have standardized this technique, and other lot of research has been there already. So if you want to transfer, whether it is possible to replicate, first of all. Another thing is the sensors actually play an important role in this, apart from your models and research work. So are we
Madam, I'm not able to hear you. Madam?
I guess there is some technical issue at her end.
No, but we can hear you, Sheetal. Yes.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
So, Ketki, ma'am.
Ketki ma'am slide,
We
there is
could,
something.
yeah.
To continue, Sheetal, when ma'am will ask when she joins.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Ma'am,
she's
are you
here.
back? Ketki ma'am is back.
Yeah, I think she's back. Yeah, ma'am is back.
Yeah, sorry about poor network connectivity. Sometimes it is going off, on and off. No problem, but you don't waste. If anything happens like that, you please continue. We will connect later on also. We shouldn't waste time. Yeah, please. Sorry about that.
Ma'am, if you could repeat your question, I will answer, ma'am.
Yeah, just tell me about the procurement of the sensor. Are we self-sufficient? Number one. Number two, this your work can be easily replicated anywhere else also with your support. Yeah.
So, ma'am, we have already replicated it in Sikkim, in the northeastern Sikkim, Gangtok, we have deployed, ma'am. Now we are working with the state of Karnataka, and also with also at Tirumala Hills. Also they wanted us to monitor the rock slides. This we are doing. We have got a call from Arunachal also to look into the different areas in Arunachal. We can scale it, we can do it. Some of the sensors are foreign procured, but several of them are Indian, and then we are all the integrated solution. The software is built by us, and all the other hardware solutions are built by us. So we are willing to take it forward as a scalable model to other places.
Anyway, I will connect to her later on. Please move on. No problem. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Dr. Manisha. So now I would like to invite Selva Kumar, who is change maker for this technology.
வணக்கம். உமர் ஒரு 13 வருஷமா இந்த அமிர்தா டீம் கூட இருக்கேன். அமிர்தா டாக்டர் மனிஷா கீழே
Sir, we couldn't hear you. There is some network issue. Ma'am, will they speak in English?
No, he will be speaking in local language. He has a translator sitting with him.
Okay. Thank you.
அப்போ வாழ்க்கையில ஒரு சயின்ஸ் வேணும் அப்படின்ற ஒரு சயின்ஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப முக்கியமா வேணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி தேவை வந்து அமிர்தா யூனிவர்சிட்டியை பார்த்து படிக்கிறேன். நாங்க வந்து இந்த மலை பிரதேசங்கள்ல வந்து மவுண்டன் ஏரியால பல நூற்றாண்டுகளாக நாங்க இங்க வந்து தங்கி இருக்கிறோம். எங்களுக்கு இந்த நிலச்சரிவு உயிர் சேதங்களை பத்தி தெரியல. வருடம் நிறைய பேர் உயிர்கள் பலியாகி கொண்டுதான் இருந்தது. அப்போ 2005 அந்தோனியார் காலனியில இப்படி ஒரு 5 பேர் மரணம் அடைஞ்சு போனாங்க. 7 பேர்கிட்ட மரணம் அடைஞ்சது. அப்பதான் 2009 அமிர்தா யூனிவர்சிட்டி சார்பாக ஒரு லேண்ட்ஸ்லைட் ரிசர்ச் சென்டர் கொண்டு வந்து வச்சாங்க. மிஷினர்லாம் வச்சாங்க. ஏர்லி வார்னிங் சிஸ்டம். இது வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா முன்னாடியே எல்லாம் தெரியுன்ற ரீதியில எல்லா காரியங்களும் செஞ்சு கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. நாங்க இப்ப இதை வச்சுதான் எங்க வாழ்க்கை இங்க ஓடிக்கிட்டு இருக்கு. எப்படின்னா இந்த மழை டைங்கள்ல ஏர்லி வார்னிங் சிஸ்டத்துல இருந்து அமிர்தா யூனிவர்சிட்டியில இருந்து எங்களுக்கு தகவல் கிடைச்சோன்னு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அலர்ட், செகண்ட் அலர்ட், தேர்ட் அலர்ட் அப்படின்னு கொடுக்கும்போது நாங்க இங்க இருந்து எல்லாரையும் மாறிக்கிடுவோம். மாற்றி வேற கேம்புகள் கொண்டு போய் இங்க லோக்கல் கவர்மெண்ட் சப்போர்ட்டுகள், பின் அதே மாதிரி வியாபாரி விவசாயிகள் சப்போர்ட்டுகள், யூத் லீடர்ஸ் சப்போர்ட்டுகள், டீம் கேரளா யுவஜன சம போர்டின் கீழே டீம் கேரளா, பின்ன இஆர்டி எமர்ஜென்சி ரெஸ்பான்சிபிள் டீம், இது போன்ற நிறைய வாலண்டியர் ஒர்க்ஸ் பண்றவங்களை வச்சு நாங்கள் கேம்புகள் எல்லாம் ஷிஃப்ட் பண்ணி கொண்டு போறோம். அதே மாதிரி இதுல மொபைல் ட்ராக்.
I'll just translate what he had been telling all the while. So he was telling that he realized the importance of science and technology and how it can be applied to societal benefits from Amrita. They had been living a very hard life here. Every year, before the system had actually came in place. And in 2009, the system is fully functional. And then they started giving warnings to them. And these warnings are very helpful. They give warnings in 3 different levels: first level, second level, and third level. So they are able to understand, is it a regional level warning or is it a warning for them? They need to know their localities. Before the system in place, they were vacating their houses and then some other relief during monsoon period, and only after the monsoon period they will come back to their homes. But they're able to live freely without they are vacating only when the warnings are given. So this is a very good blessing, and that's what he told. And he has also some more points to tell. So I'm giving to him.
அமிர்தாக்குள்ள மொபைல் லேண்ட்ஸ்லைட் மொபைல் ஆப் இருக்கு. இப்போ எங்க நிலச்சரிவுகள் ஏற்பட்டாலும் நாங்க அங்க போயிட்டு போட்டோ எடுத்து அதுக்குள்ள டைமிங், லொகேஷன், எல்லா இது டீட்டெயில்ஸ் நாங்கள் கொடுத்துருவோம். அந்த இடத்துல வந்துட்டு இனிமேல் அந்த அதே மாதிரி லேண்ட்ஸ்லைட் வர்றதுக்கு அதெல்லாம் இது பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருக்கு. நாங்கள் இப்போ எங்களுக்குள்ள கோஆர்டினேட்டர் மோகன் மற்றும் வியாபாரி சங்க தலைவர் கணேசன் சார், இந்த வார்டு மெம்பர் மற்றும் ஜாக்லின் மரி அந்த பண்ணி கேம்புக்கு முன்னாடியும் கேம்புக்கு பின்னாடியும்.
So he was basically mentioning that there is an app developed by
Ma'am, I would like to interrupt. Could you, if it would be really helpful if you could switch off your video so we can get better bandwidth, because you are not clearly audible because of the network issue. Thank you.
Okay, shall I go on with the translation now?
Yeah.
So he was mentioning about the Landslide Tracker app that is developed by Amrita. The Landslide Tracker app is used for collecting the landslide information throughout the world, and it's available for free download from Play Store. And people, especially Selvakumar, the change maker, he's been trained very much in using this app. So whenever and wherever a landslide happens in Muna, he used to go to that place and take a picture of the landslide and then add the location details and everything. So we are able to know where, over a spatial scale, where and all the landslides had happened. And also he had been trained with handling disasters, pre-disaster and during disaster, after a disaster, what are the steps that need to be taken,
And he has a volunteer team with the help of government support and also with the local panchayat members, the environmental activities and the business people here. They are also present here along with Mr. Selva Kumar. So all these people, they are a community formed together, and they work together and they coordinate together to plan things and move forward and how to deal with the disaster. And also the community awareness programs that had been conducted by Amrita. We had taught them about the precursors of identifying a landslide, and what are the do's and don'ts. So these things helped them very much in planning the disaster, pre-disaster and the post-disaster things. And over to him again. And okay, so there's another person who's an active environmentalist in Munnar. He's also a community person involved in this community, and he would like to share his viewpoints.
All right.
Hello, I'm Mohan, environmentalist and a disaster management trainer. And I'm also the local activist for in this area region. In the 2005 onward, it happened a heavy landslide. After that, we formed the search and rescue and the SMDA, like the Kerala State Disaster Management Authority, then made the Orange Book. So we coordinate with the guidelines of the KSDMA and other government organizations. It's altogether, I think, maybe around 32 government organizations together and the disaster management team. So we have the disaster management team, and we have the every ward in a panchayat. We have the every ward we have the ERT, emergency responsibility team, and we preparedness and we study about everything. After the 2009 onwards, the Amrita Institute, we depend on the case Kerala State Disaster Management Authority and local people and the community is very eagerly awaiting for any information and what is updates from the Amrita Institute. So the warning. After that, we operate the people and we prepare. We are arranged for everything, camps and all, even NDRF and other things. We have all things. So this is very very early warning system is very helpful for the local community of Munnar for these high range hills.
Thank you. Thank you. Would you like to talk to other community members also? We have few other businessmen and local self-help group women.
Yeah. Now, can you just switch on the video? I think there's a better bandwidth.
Yeah, here's she's a person who's directly living under the deployment site. She has been she has witnessed the landslide in 2005, and we have taken their inputs in building the system, and now she's sharing her experience.
வணக்கம். மூணாவது என்பவர்களாகி நான் முன்பாக பேச விரும்புகிறேன். 2005 ஒரு வார காலமா எங்க வீட்டுக்கு மேல இருந்த மலையில இருந்து டெய்லி நல்ல மழை பெஞ்சிட்டு இருந்துச்சு. அப்ப நல்ல கலங்குன தண்ணீர் சகதியா வந்துட்டே இருந்துச்சு. எங்களுக்கு அதை பத்தி எதுவுமே தெரியல. சின்ன சின்ன கல்லு மண்ணெல்லாம் உருண்டு வந்துட்டே இருந்துச்சு. அப்ப அந்த இடத்துல எங்களுக்கு என்ன செய்யுது எங்களுக்கு ஒண்ணும் தெரியல. 2005 வருஷத்துல ஜூலை மாசம் 25 சாயங்காலம் ஒரு 5:45 மணி இருக்கும். எங்களுடைய கண் முன்னாடியே அந்த எங்க வீட்டுக்கு நேரம் மேல இருக்கக்கூடிய 2 லைன்ஸ்ல அப்படியே மண்ணு போட்டு மூடிடுச்சு. மூடல அங்க உள்ள ஒரு 4 பேர், ஒரு குடும்பத்துல 3 பேர், இன்னொரு குடும்பத்துல ஒருத்தர் இறந்துட்டாங்க. நாங்க அலறி அடிச்சுட்டு போய் பாக்குறோம். என்ன செய்யணும் எதுச்சுன்னு எனக்கு ஒண்ணுமே புரியல. இதை பத்தி எங்களுக்கு எந்த ஒரு அவேர்னஸோ விழிப்புணர்வு எதுவுமே எங்களுக்கு கிடையாது. உடனே நாங்க போன் மூலமா போலீஸுக்கு எல்லாம் தெரிவிச்சோம். அங்க இந்த காலனில இருக்கக்கூடிய நாங்க எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து அங்குள்ள எங்களால முக்கிய நாங்க பண்ணல. இது ஃபயர் சர்வீஸ் வந்தாங்க, போலீஸ் வந்தாங்க, எல்லாரும் வந்தாங்க. வந்துட்டு எங்களால முடிஞ்ச அளவுக்கு அந்த கரண்ட் வேற போயிடுச்சு. நாங்க ரொம்ப அவதிக்குள்ள நாங்க ஆயிட்டோம், ரொம்ப கஷ்டத்துக்குள்ள நாங்க ஆயிட்டோம். எங்களோட உடைமைகள் எல்லாம் விட்டு போலீஸ் நீங்க இந்த இடத்த விட்டு வெக்கேட் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லி எங்களை ரோட்டுக்கு கீழே அனுப்பி வச்சுட்டாங்க. நாங்க ஒரு கேம்ப்ல கொண்டு போய் அங்க இருந்த அத்தனை குடும்பத்துல 26 குடும்பம் இருந்தோம், 26 வீடு. நிறைய ஃபேமிலி, ஒரு வீட்டுல 3 குடும்பம் 4 குடும்பம் வச்சிருந்தோம். அங்க போய் நாங்க கேம்ப்ல போய் நாங்க 150 நாள் கேம்ப்ல நாங்க இருந்தோம். நாங்க அனுபவிக்காத கஷ்டங்கள் பாடுகள் இது சொல்ல முடியாது, அவ்வளவு கஷ்டத்துக்கு நாங்க இருந்தோம். அதுக்கு பிறகு பாத்தீங்கன்னா
Now, I'll just translate what she was telling because it will be difficult if I had to translate everything altogether. So she was saying that she was witnessing a landslide that happened in 2005. She was living directly under the landslide. The entire 2 lines of quarters above her home had slided, and she was witnessing that. And before the landslide, 1 week before the landslide, they noticed all the precursors like a slurry of mud coming, and then there was small debris flow kind of things. So they noticed everything, but they were not aware that these are the precursor signs for a landslide. They just thought that it's raining heavily, so it's a natural thing to happen. And then after a week, the land slided, and there were 26 families at the time living here. Most of the houses were completely destroyed. Like the 2 lines of quarters were destroyed, and especially four members from one particular family and 1 member from another family, they got buried under the mud, and they lost their life. And then they were in extreme fear because they witnessed the landslide and they didn't know what to do, how to help. They were all in panic, and it became night, and the police came and they all evacuated them from their houses without any pre-notice, since a disaster had happened. They were in complete panic. They didn't know what to do because their belongings are all stuck there, and few of the people were under the mud. So it was a heavy panic situation at that time, and then they vacated the place. And the trouble that they had underwent was immense, and she is not able to describe it in words. And over to her. Yeah.
அதுக்கு பிறகாக நாங்க இப்படி பயந்து ஒவ்வொரு வருஷமும் மழை வரும்போது நாங்க ரொம்ப பயந்திருந்த சூழ்நிலையில 2009வது வருஷத்துல அமிர்தமா இன்ஸ்டிடியூட்ல இருந்து எங்களுக்கு ஏர்லி வார்னிங் சிஸ்டம்ஸ் சொல்லக்கூடிய அந்த மிஷின் எங்களுக்கு ஒரு தைரியப்படுத்தி அதன் மூலமா அதுக்கு பிறகு ஒவ்வொரு மழை கூடும்போது எங்களுக்கு இங்க கோஆர்டினேட்டரா இருக்கக்கூடிய செல்வகுமார் அவர்கள் எங்களுக்கு கூப்பிட்டு உடனே எங்களுக்கு மழை இருக்குது, பாத்துருங்க, கவனமா இருங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. போன வருஷத்துல கூட ஒரு நாள் எங்களுக்கு அந்த ஏர்லி வார்னிங் சிஸ்டத்தின் மூலமா எங்களுக்கு ஒரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் வந்த உடனே எங்களை மாறி இருக்கு சொன்னாங்க. ஆனா அதோடய மழை குறைஞ்சிருச்சு. ஆனா இன்னைக்கு வரைக்கும் நாங்க மழைக்கு பயந்துருந்தாலும் எங்களுக்குள்ள ஒரு தைரியம் இந்த இன்ஸ்டிடியூட் மூலமா, அமிர்தா இன்ஸ்டிடியூட் மூலமா, அந்த மெஷினரி மூலமா எங்களுக்கு ஒரு தைரியம் வந்துருச்சுன்னு தான். ஏதாவது பிரச்சனைனா இவங்க எங்களுக்கு உடனே இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கொடுத்துறாங்க, நாங்க உடனே அந்த இடத்துல இருந்து நாங்க மாறிக்கிறோம். அதனால அதுக்கு பிறகு 2-3 கேம்ப்லாம் நாங்க அட்டென்ட் பண்ணணும். நிறைய காரியங்கள் எங்களுக்கு சந்திக்கிறோம்னு சொன்னா நிறைய கஷ்டங்கள் சந்திக்கிறோம். அந்த கஷ்டத்துல மிகையா ஒண்ணுன்னா பயம். கொஞ்சம் மழை சிவியரா கொஞ்சம் சேர்ந்து மழை வந்துருச்சுன்னா எல்லாம் என்ன ஆயிருமோ ஏதாயிருமோன்னு சொல்லலாம். ஒவ்வொரு வீட்லயும் மழை வந்துருச்சுன்னா என்னுடைய ஹஸ்பண்ட் எல்லாம் நிறைய சிவியரா மழை இருக்கிற அன்னைக்கு நைட்டு தூங்க மாட்டாங்க, முழிச்சே இருப்பாங்க. அப்படிலாம் இது கஷ்டமான ஒரு சூழ்நிலையை நாங்க எதிர்கொண்டுட்டு இருக்கிறோம். அதனால இந்த சயின்டிபிக்கா இந்த டெக்னாலஜி மூலமா எங்களுக்கு ஒரு தைரியத்தை கொடுத்துருக்குன்னு தான் சொல்ல முடியும். நீங்க இந்த டெக்னாலஜி மூலமா எங்களுக்கு இந்த மெஷினரி வச்சு எங்களுக்கு ஒரு ஊக்கப்படுத்தி எங்களை தைரியப்படுத்தி நாங்களும் உங்க கூட இருக்கிறோம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி நீங்க கொடுத்திருக்கிற இந்த இது சொல்ல முடியாத ஒரு நல்ல நிகழ்வாக இருக்கிறது. அதனால அது எங்களை நினைச்ச மனசுக்கு ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சியாக இருக்கிறது.
So she was saying that since 2009, the system came in place, Amrita University's early warning system. Since then, their fear had reduced because when it rains in Munnar, it rains very heavily. And looking at the heavy rains, it's always a fear. But even if it is a fear, now they have a hope that we'll be giving early warnings. So these machines are functional, and then they are waiting for the warnings before they wanted to vacate that particular place. So now from the fear, their fear had reduced, and now they are in trust that we'll be delivering the warnings.
Ma'am,
And then
could you ask her that is she a user of Landslide Tracking App or a part of WhatsApp group where the updated information is provided?
வந்து வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப்ல பார்ட் ஆயிருக்கீங்களா? உங்களுக்கு அந்த லேண்ட்ஸ்லைட் ட்ராக்கர் ஆப் யூஸ் பண்ண தெரியுமான்னு கேட்குறேன்.
எஸ் பண்ணுவேன்.
Yes, actually, she's an active member of in the WhatsApp group. Not only her, all the members in this community, because whenever they see some heavy rainfalls or some debris flow happening, they immediately report it in the WhatsApp group. Not only that, if there is a power cut for a very long duration, they report it, because power is an extremely immense thing for the data to be transmitted. So any power cut scenarios, any road blocks, such things also, some debris slides, small slides, such things also they reported in the WhatsApp community group. And not only that, they also there are cracks in their houses, and so we have they are trained to measure the cracks, and then if the crack is increasing or not, and with that increase they'll be able to quantify how much is the movement happening in especially in their houses. There are several cracks, and those are also reported in the Landslide Tracker app.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Now because of short of time, we'll move on to our third technology. So for the third technology, I would like to invite Dr. Seerat. Over to you, Seerat.
Thank you, Sheetal. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sheetal. Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you on day 22 of Techneev. So the third technology that we are discussing today is technological intervention in value-added livestock products. The technology implementer is Dr. Arvind Kumar, Senior Scientist, Division of Livestock Products Technology from Sher Kashmir University, Jammu. The change maker is Ms. Shushma Devi. Sorry. The change maker is Ms. Shushma Devi from Kaushal Jammu Milk Producer Company, and the beneficiaries are the representatives from Deoli village. So first of all, I would invite Dr. Kumar to please come and give us an introduction about the technology. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon to all of you for the presence on the virtual mode. I was actually a principal investigator of a 3 years project in Women Technology Park, which is actually in Deoli village, which is set up in Deoli village, but it has worked in Jammu region. And we have contacted our 10 KVKs who is working for the university. From them, we have got the list of beneficiaries with which we are going to train them. What we actually have done is to go to their individual farm level who are actually taming animals for either for milk, meat, or fish purposes. And then we intervene them scientifically based upon the scientific interventions onto the farms. And then we have make them know to the fact that if you process these products, raw food, in either milk, meat, or fish, then you can earn much more than what we are earning right now. And since the target population is near to the surrounding border areas, and the main occupation of those people are generally animal husbandry and agriculture. Since they're constant firing, they can't able to do that much of agriculture practice. So they're mostly dependent upon animal husbandry. But since they are on to the far-flung areas, they are actually producing milk, but they are selling at a very meager price. And since the shelf life of these products, either milk or fish or meat as such, it is very less. Within 3 to 4 hours at room temperature in hot, humid conditions, it gets destroyed. So we train those people who are actually preparing, who are actually taming these animals, and we make them to understand, to go on several trainings based on milk processing, meat processing, and fish processing. We targeted 7 products in milk, 4 products in meat, and 3 products in fish. We trained them on, in terms of milk, we have trained them on making of kaladi, paneer, cheese, khoa, chana, lassi, and whey beverages. And in meat, we have trained them for tawa chicken, chicken pickle, tandoori chicken, chicken fry, and fish pakoda. Chicken pakoda. And in fish, we have trained them on tandoori fish, fish pickle, and fish fry, and fish pakoda. So we do have certain successes. There are 42 persons who are already have their own micro enterprises doing their producing their foods. They have registered their own carts from municipal corporation as well as their own outlets, and they are selling the food products with FSSAI grading, with FSSAI identification number. We have with me one of the successful person or change maker, I can say, Susma Devi, who is started training from R, who was usually a homemaker in the year 2017. But after that, that is a changing when we came into our contact and gone on several training. And he has also becomes a master trainer for various other people. And today she has been doing fantastically well and doing good job to make other people who get I can say motivated to do work rather than being simply a homemaker. Couldn't able to listen to you.
Sorry, sir. I have a few questions for you. So first of all, how do you do the quality checking of the products?
Yes, the product that what we have made them to learn, we have researched on them, and we have got full-fledged lab in terms of carbohydrate, proteins, fats, and vitamins. The proximate analysis. Together with that, we are also evaluating the product based upon microbiological analysis, the quantitative as well as qualitative one, and we are also doing it as at storage parameters in terms of free fatty acid analysis and TBARS values. So how much long it is going to last, and then sensory evaluation also we used to do how many long days it is going to sustain its life. So on all 3 basic physicochemical as well as microbiological parameters, together with storage study and sensory parameters, we used to evaluate the food that we are making them understand, and then they're also got identification number from FSSAI for a particular product to sell.
So what is the average shelf life for the different milk products or meat products?
It depends upon product to product, ma'am. Like for kaladi, we do have a shelf life of almost 28 days. For paneer, we do have a shelf life, all under refrigeration condition, ma'am. This is a 28 days for kaladi.
What is kaladi?
Kaladi is a local product which is hard pressed cheese. It is made from water, having a coagulum, which is made from the present product together with that of lassi and curd. So the coagulum, so the culture is from the previous product together with the curd. We make that culture, and that is incorporated in the milk, which is not fully boiled. It is boiled at a 60 degrees centigrade, and then we incorporate into that to get the coagulum, which is followed by hard pressed and then sun dried. It is very much popular in Jammu, and it is consumed in form of kaladi kulcha. So in kulcha, actually we are putting that into kulcha, and that is going to get served after getting heated upon. And we do have a cost benefit ratio of 1:12. So if you are putting 1 rupee into this, finally the final product is coming out of the 12 rupees. So its cost benefit ratio is quite high in terms of kaladi. Regarding the shelf life of the other products that what we have produced, all are having more than 28 days to 35 days at refrigeration temperature of 4 ± 1 degree centigrade.
Okay, sir. Thank you. And regarding the marketing of the products, do you sell it in local markets or do you sell it on e-commerce platforms? Do you have tie-up with?
No tie-up, ma'am. All products what they are preparing, what all the success stories we do have. They are quite popular in their local areas. Together with that, they used to sell only on the evening vendors, and the daytime also it is available. But generally in the evening time, they used to sell on their outlets because all these products are ready to eat product. So people used to get it in the evening time to get it, and all the products what they're preparing every day is getting sold on their outlet from their outlet itself.
Okay. And like your products, they're similar to other very popular brands in the market. So do you have any competition? Do you face any competition with them? And how do you adjust your pricing to deal with that competition? Do you adjust your pricing?
Yeah, all these products what we're preparing is a local product, and all are fresh in nature. What we produce today, we're getting selling it today itself. So our products are absolutely fresh, number one. And since there is no any middleman involved in that thing, so the price is much more lesser than what the packaged food by the multinational companies what they are putting on. So we are, in terms of both freshness together with its quality and pricing, we are much more lesser than that of the other products which are available in the market. So there is no any in terms of all this flavor and as well as pricing is much more lesser. So all the products are getting sold. Rather, after completion of the project, also people have come for us, and we used to give trainings on all these products on a regular basis, apart from our teaching, research, and extension thing. But during the project, we have given some startups also in terms of what the utensils actually required for these particular products. But now we can't able to give that thing. But as far as science and technology intervention is concerned, for all these products, we are imparting training on a regular basis.
And did you face any other challenges during the marketing of the products?
No challenge at all, because we are immediately going for FSSAI identification of the product. So if the consumer is seeing this thing that this is coming as a fresh and having FSSAI number, so they are ensured themselves that is healthy and hygienic in nature. And since they are on regular customers are there coming every evening and have their foods and going back. So on a regular basis they are coming. So it's a daily food items which is daily prepared and daily sold on. So as far as there is no such challenges.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Now we would like to talk to Sushma ji.
जी
नमस्ते. सुषमा जी, आप बताएंगे आप कैसे इस चीज से जुड़े, ये टेक्नोलॉजी से आप कैसे जुड़े?
हाँ मैम, मैं 2017 से सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप में जुड़ी थी, तो उससे स्क्वास्ट वालों ने मिल्क प्रोडक्ट की ट्रेनिंग दी। तो जब उन्होंने हमें मिल्क प्रोडक्ट की ट्रेनिंग दी तो फिर उन्होंने हमें टेक्नोलॉजी से जोड़ा। उन्होंने हमें मशीना वगैरह दी जो दूध गर्म करने वाली थी, टेम्परेचर के बारे में बताया और टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू हमें काम करने का तरीका बताया सुकास्ट यूनिवर्सिटी वालों ने। तो हमने पहले हमारे सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप थे, तो हमने एक FPO बनाई जिसका नाम है कौशल जम्मू मिल्क प्रोड्यूसर कंपनी लिमिटेड। अब उसमें हमारे पास 200-250 मेंबर है जो काम कर रहा है। तो इससे के बाद जब हम स्क्वास्ट से जुड़े, इन्होंने हमें नए तरीकों से काम करना सिखाया, टेक्नोलॉजी से काम करना सिखाया। फिर जब FPO तैयार की, उसके बाद हम अब पनीर का काम करते हैं। पनीर, मिल्क केक, कलाड़ी, कर्ड, घी, सारा सामान खुद से बनाते हैं। कुछ लेडीज जुड़ी हुई हैं हमारे साथ और कुछ जेंट्स भी जुड़े हुए हैं, क्योंकि 200-250 मेंबर हो गया है हमारा अब। तो हम मिलके सभी काम कर रहे हैं। कुछ लोगों ने डेयरी रखी हुई है, कुछ मेंबर हमें दूध देते हैं। हम कम्युनिटी में काम कर रहे हैं, कुछ मेंबर दूध दे रहे हैं हम लोगों को और कुछ मेंबर हमारे साथ काम कर रहे हैं पनीर का। तो हमारी 2-3 आउटलेट हमने अपनी FPO की खोली हुई है और हमारा पनीर जो BSF है हमारे इधर बॉर्डर पोस्ट पे सभी पे जाता है, क्योंकि हमारी चीजें एक तो चेक हमारी वो FFSC वालों ने चेकिंग की होती है, बिल्कुल फ्रेश सुबह बनता है, शाम तक पनीर कर्ड सब फिनिश कर देते हैं हम लोग।
जी, तो आप ये SQUST से जुड़ने से पहले आप मतलब कोई काम करती थी, क्या करती थी आप?
नहीं मैम, मैं एक हाउस वाइफ थी, तो हम मैं तो उम्मीद के हमारे इधर जम्मू में ग्रुप बने हैं, सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप बने हैं। 2017 में ग्रुप में एज ए मेंबर जुड़ी थी। तो फिर 2018 में मेरा काम देख के उन्होंने मेरे को कम्युनिटी मोबिलाइजर बना दिया। पर ग्रुप के मेरे को मोबिलाइजर बना दिया उन्होंने। फिर उसके बाद मैं 2019 में हमें ट्रेनिंग मिली जून में। तो 3 अक्टूबर 2019 में हमने ये वाला पनीर का काम खोला। इससे पहले हमें स्क्वास्ट वालों ने ट्रेनिंग दी। पहले हम कुछ नहीं करते थे। इन्होंने स्क्वास्ट वालों से ट्रेनिंग मिली, उसके बाद इन्होंने हमें कोऑपरेटिव से जोड़ा। तो हमने एक एफपीओ बनाई और फिर हमने दूध का काम स्टार्ट किया। 3 अक्टूबर 2019 से हमने स्टार्ट किया था। उसके बाद 20 में कोरोना भी आ गया, लेकिन फिर भी हमने काम को छोड़ा नहीं, कम किया लेकिन छोड़ा नहीं। चैलेंजेस बहुत आए हमें। जिस दिन कोरोना का ऐलान हुआ कि पूरा बंद रहेगा, उस दिन हम फ्रिज में 2.5 क्विंटल पनीर पड़ा हुआ था और 2.5 क्विंटल का दूध हमारी भट्ठी में पड़ा हुआ था। आप समझो कि 5 क्विंटल पनीर का कम से कम भी लाख रुपए का पनीर था हमारे पास। जिस दिन जम्मू बंद का ऑर्डर हो गया था कि लॉकडाउन हो गया, उसके बाद फिर हमारा दोबारा काम बंद कर दिया हम लोगों ने। फिर 5 दिन हमारी शॉप बंद रही। फिर उसके बाद हमने दोबारा 5 केजी से स्टार्ट किया और 2.5 क्विंटल पनीर बनाते थे। फिर उसके बाद दोबारा 5 केजी से बनाना शुरू किया। फिर हमने सोचा कि अब क्या करें। फिर हमने एक छोटी सी आउटलेट ली किराए पे, क्योंकि नया काम था। एक छोटी सी आउटलेट किराए पे ली। फिर हमने 5 केजी से पनीर बनाना स्टार्ट किया धीरे धीरे। फिर दोबारा भी ऐसा वाले आना स्टार्ट हो गए और लोगों से फिर धीरे धीरे अब हम दोबारा 2.5 से 3 क्विंटल पनीर भी बनाते हैं और मिल्क केक बनाते हैं, कलाड़ी अलग से बनाते हैं और दूध दही जो लगता है वो हमारा अलग से लगता है।
जी। तो कोविड के टाइम पे आपका तो बहुत नुकसान हुआ होगा, तो उस टाइम में आपकी मतलब इनकम का क्या सोर्स रहा? यही चल रहा था या मतलब आपने जैसे कहा कि 250 लोग आपके साथ काम करते हैं, तो उनका इनकम सोर्स क्या था कोविड के टाइम पे?
मैम 2-4 दिन तो उनका दूध भी ऐसे ही बेचारों का खराब ही हुआ, क्योंकि कोई ले ही नहीं रहा था। आपको पता हमारे इधर बेचारे गुज्जर बकरवाल भी हैं, उनका दूध तो लोग वैसे भी नहीं ले रहे थे, नहीं ना ले रहे थे। लोगों मन में बैठ गया था कि ये दूध में कुछ डाल रहे हैं। फिर हमने धीरे धीरे उनका दूध थोड़ा थोड़ा करके, मतलब एक आदमी का दूध नहीं लिया, क्योंकि सबकी थोड़ी थोड़ी इनकम रहे। हमने थोड़ा थोड़ा दूध सबका लेना स्टार्ट किया, किसी का 5 केजी, किसी का 10 केजी, ऐसे करके कि उनको ज्यादा तो, क्योंकि हमारा भी काम नया था, हम ज्यादा तो किसी को भी कुछ नहीं दे सकते थे। हमने उनका थोड़ा थोड़ा सबका दूध लेना स्टार्ट किया कि उनकी ज्यादा नहीं, राशन की इनकम ही इससे निकल जाए। फिर धीरे धीरे 2-3 महीने बाद हमारा काम बढ़ता गया और उनकी भी सोर्स ऑफ इनकम बढ़ती गई।
तो आपके जो ये 250 मेंबर्स हैं जिसमें ज्यादातर औरतें हैं, उनको इस चीज में लाने के लिए आपको कोई दिक्कत हुई या वो अपनी मर्जी से आते थे आपके साथ जुड़ने के लिए?
मैं सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप में जुड़ी थी, लोगों का विश्वास था मेरे पे, लेकिन फिर भी नए काम में जोड़ने के लिए लोगों को, आपको पता दिक्कत तो होती है। तो लोगों को मोटिवेशन किया कि आप शहर दूध देने जा रहे हो, आप किराया इतना खर्च करते हो, आपका पूरा दिन का टाइम वेस्ट होता है, आपको पैसे भी 2-3 दिन बाद मिलते हैं। अगर आप लोग हमारे साथ जुड़ोगे, इधर हमें गांव में ही दूध दोगे, तो आपका एक तो किराया बचेगा, दूसरा आप लोगों का टाइम बचेगा, तीसरा आप लोग हमको जानते हो, हम लोग आपको टाइम से पैसे भी देंगे। तो ऐसे मोटिवेट करके लोगों को हमने अपने साथ जोड़ा। तो अब लोगों को फायदा हो गया, उनका टाइम भी बचता है, उनको शहर भी पड़ता है, गाँव में उनका दूध लग रहा है।
तो आपकी जिंदगी में ये कोऑपरेटिव स्टार्ट करने के बाद आपकी जिंदगी में क्या क्या चेंजेस आए हैं? मतलब आपके स्वास्थ्य में कोई बदलाव आया है या आपके बच्चों की शिक्षा में कोई चेंजेस आए हैं?
इससे जुड़ने से एक तो मैं आत्मनिर्भर बन गई हूँ, दूसरा सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ा है और तीसरा मेरे को देख के और औरतों का भी विश्वास बढ़ रहा है कि वो काम कर रही है, हम क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं। मेरे को देख के और भी औरतें कोशिश कर रही हैं मैम इधर
ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात है।
कर सकते हैं।
हम्म, ठीक है सुषमा जी, और जो बेनिफिशियरीज होंगे हम उनसे बात कर सकते हैं क्या?
मैम इस टाइम वो तो ऑनलाइन होंगे ना, क्योंकि हमारा बॉर्डर एरिया, मैं भी गांव से थोड़ी बाहर आई, इधर
अच्छा।
नेट
मैं यहाँ पर एक बात बताना चाहूंगा मैम
जी
कि
सर।
चूंकि वो बॉर्डर एरिया से बिलोंग करते हैं तो मैक्सिमम जगह पर जो है वो जो सिग्नल्स होते हैं वो उतने स्ट्रांग नहीं होते हैं और कहीं पे तो होते भी नहीं। फिर भी इनको मैंने रिक्वेस्ट किया था कि जो है आप जो है अपने पूरे ग्रुप को रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए आप जरूर आइएगा, तो ये बैठ करके अपना सारा कुछ कर रही हैं और काफी इन्होंने अपने बारे में बहुत कम बताया, वो जो बताया बहुत 1/10 बताया, उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा काम किया और बहुत लोगों को मोटिवेट किया है। शायद 250 तो कम नंबर है, उन्होंने शायद 2.5 लाख लोगों को मोटिवेट किया है। शायद इतना नहीं है क्योंकि इनके बारे में खबरें छपती रहती हैं और ये मिनिस्ट्री लेवल पर भी काफी लोगों से मिल चुकी हैं। जैसे हमारे यहाँ पंचायती राज दिवस मनाने के लिए हमारा सेंटर ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने चुना था। हमारे स्पेसिफिकली रूरल डेवलपमेंट के तहत चुना गया था कि उन्होंने क्या किया है। उसके तहत हमने काफी मिनिस्टर्स से इन्होंने मुलाकात भी की है, अपने बारे में बताया भी है और पूरे ग्रुप के साथ भी मुलाकात की। तो इसलिए सारे मेंबर्स को हम बुला नहीं पाए मैम, तो ये सी इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग द होल ग्रुप मैम, अदर पीपल कांट एबल टू ज्वाइन मैम, सो इसलिए
नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम। तो सुषमा जी मैं आपसे एक दो और सवाल पूछूंगी, जैसे कि सॉरी, इसमें लिखा था कि आपको नाबार्ड से भी आप सपोर्ट मिला है, तो नाबार्ड से किस टाइप का सपोर्ट मिला है आपको?
कौशल जम्मू मिल्क प्रोड्यूसर एपीओ बनाई है ना, उसको स्पॉन्सर नाबार्ड ने किया हो।
अच्छा, और सॉरी,
मेरे को बेस्ट पशु सखी का अवार्ड मिला है इसमें सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप में, और भी गवर्नर जी ने दिया मैम। और वैसे भी अवार्ड निर्मला सीतारमण मैम आए थे जम्मू, तब मेरा स्टार लगा हुआ था हमारे ग्रुप का, तब उन्होंने हमें काफी वो किया। अभी और भी प्रोग्राम चलते रहते हैं हमारे ग्रुप के इधर जम्मू में। अब हम फेमस हो गए हैं मैम जम्मू के लोग ना अब हम के नाम से जानते।
बहुत अच्छी बात है, आपको देख के और भी औरतों को मोटिवेशन मिलेगा, उनको भी एक आवाज मिलेगी।
पास्ट में काफी मदद की है हमारी, और साथ में जो नई टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करवाई है उन्होंने, इससे हमारा नाम भी बढ़ा है और काम भी बढ़ा है और इनकम भी बढ़ी है।
तो एक और सवाल है कि जैसे आप अभी सिर्फ देओली गांव में काम करती हैं, तो आपका कोई प्लान है क्या?
मैम गोलपत्तन गांव में काम करती हूँ मैं।
बिलोंग्स टू गोल।
बिलोंग्स
तो
टू
आप कितने गांव से जुड़ी हुई हैं?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
आप कितने गांवों से जुड़ी हुई हैं, मतलब कितने गांव के लोग आपसे आपके साथ जुड़े हुए हैं इस कोऑपरेटिव में?
डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जुड़ी हुई हूँ, पूरी
अच्छा।
डिस्ट्रिक्ट मेरे से जुड़ी है जम्मू की।
ठीक है, थैंक यू सुषमा जी। आप और कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
हाँ मैम, मैं ये कहना चाहूंगी कि आप मेरी ओर से सभी औरतों को बोलो कि औरत किसी से कम नहीं है। अगर चाहे तो आसमान को जमीन पे ला सकती है और जमीन को आसमान तक ले जा सकती है। और मैं एक और बात सबको कहना चाहूंगी कि काम वो करो कि नाम हो जाए, नाम ऐसा करो कि नाम पे ही तुम्हारा हर काम हो जाए।
जी सुषमा जी, थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू, आपने बहुत अच्छी बात कही है, और आपका ये मैसेज जितने औरतें हमें देख रही हैं उन सब तक खुद ही चला जाएगा। थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू सर फॉर joining us, and we would like to continue to the next session, which is roundtable discussion, and that will be hosted by Mr. Abhinav Singh.
Thank you, Sirat. With this, we come to the roundtable discussion of the session. Dear all, as we know, and as we have witnessed that science and technology interventions have brought changes into the lives of people, but many a time the simple technologies attuned to the local requirements are what needed. In other words, customized changes and simple modulations in an existing technology have worked wonders for the people. We at Techneev attempt to explore all the possible attempts, whether they are top-down approaches or bottom-up approaches that have brought some changes into the lives of the common man for good. Besides livelihood generation, the entire idea of Techneev is to dwell on the holistic development of people, focusing on their health, hygiene, education, nutrition, and other things. In the roundtable session, we discuss and mull what can be done to plug the loopholes that exist in the entire chain at the grassroots and how to do away with the bottlenecks. How to do away with these bottlenecks that exist in the way of STI intervention at the grassroots. Further, discussions revolve around what can be done to enhance the output and productivity and bring more and more people into the realm of development realized through the STI intervention. For the roundtable discussion, we have Dr. Ketki Bapat.
Thank you.
I think there is some disturbance in the background. In the roundtable,
Yeah, there is sound. But now is it okay?
Yeah, now.
Am I audible to you?
Yeah, now okay. Now okay, ma'am. We have welcome, ma'am. We have Dr. Ketki Bapat. She is a renowned scientist at the Office of Principal Scientific Advisor, Government of India since March 2007. She acts as a nodal officer for the 2 missions of Prime Minister Science, Technology and Innovation Advisory Council. And these 2 missions are National Biodiversity and Bioscience for Human Health. She is basically a science policymaker who works on the top echelons but works for the grassroots level people. Welcome, ma'am. We have Shri Prakash Thakur, Secretary, NGO Snehpad, Assam with us. We have Shri Selva Kumar from Munnar and Shri Mati Shushma Devi from Kaushal Jammu Milk Producer Company Limited. Before I float the discussion, I would invite Ketki Bapat ma'am for her keynote address. Ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for Techneev team. I was there technology today. One was very important, that is the tackling the weavers value addition with the new technology. And we have even the sensors and the prevention technology. And third one, as we have added the value added livestock product, basically milk and this, they are all 3 of the technologies are very, very important. And I really like the way the sessions were arranged. In the sense, complete circle we have taken. I mean, somebody has introduced the technology or developed the technology. It has been taken into the grassroots, either through the community level or the associated people at the ground level. And third is the actual implementer. So this is a kudos to my suggestion to this thing. See, this is all the baby steps, I would say. The thing is, what with these technologies, we are trying to solve the local problems and adding the value addition and adding the quality life and the confidence to the people. Now, another thing is, how can we add the quality or assure the quality? Is there any way? Now, Kaladi is a very unique kind of a product which I have actually never heard much. Maybe it is a local at Jammu level, and definitely it must be tasty with the better shelf life, I would say, compared to the paneer and all. So, whether can we have the proper quality control of such things, where you can properly dried kaladi can be used for the nutritive kind of a thing where the malnutrition is there, or can we look at it, because it could be a safe thing. So we can look at it. Another thing is the packaging. How can we package the technology or the product in a better way, and what would be the USP? Third is, how can we spread outreach? Can we do things with the quality? Now, all these 3 things I would like to hear. I would like to hear with Mr. Selva Kumar, Prakash Thakur and Sushma Devi for the gaps what they are saying. We have heard, we'd like to congratulate on my personal level also and other viewers' point of view also. But I would like to hear the gaps from them. Because one is that the technology for direct technology for making product X to Y with the value addition with this S&T we have seen. Now, are there any other further things we can look at it? And now these technologies would have been, I do not know how old it is when they have started the journey. Now, after that, maybe some 3-4 years must have been over or something. So I would like to hear from them. So, let's see. Lot is now posing for paneer making. You might have concentrated on paneer making, but there is a dryer or there is other additive technologies we may like to look at it or something like that. So I will stop here. Let us hear from the people, but would like to know the gaps, and we all can discuss among ourselves whether it is possible to do the gap, filling the gap or bridging the gap, because here from Principal Scientific Advisor's Office, we also do have the very good initiative for Rural Technology Action Group, where we are taking the demands and which are all IITs and professors and other teams. So that is similarly, DST is connect with different programs for empowering the women or other self-help groups. So I will stop here. Let us work on that. And please, I would request all the three participants on the roundtable discussions to genuinely tell us the thing. Let us understand and work out. Over to you, please. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So we have Shri Prakash Thakurji, Secretary NGO Snehpad Assam. Sir?
Yes, sir.
If you can switch on your video, sir.
Yes, video is on, I think.
Okay.
Video is on, I think.
Okay, sir. Before we come to the question that Ketki ma'am has also asked to identify the gap areas, I would like to ask, as we have seen the use of computer-aided design and other modern methods in traditional sectors like handlooms, etc., certainly increases the production rate and is also a time-saving exercise. But the pertinent question that crosses one's mind and the one which crossed my mind especially is whether the use of computer-aided design or things like CAD would not cost upon the uniqueness that these handicraft products are known for since generation. I would make it more clear. I would like to give example like in many traditional handicraft like Banarsi sari, etc. Each item produced is unique as each is handcrafted or handmade with traditional acumen and dexterity that machine cannot have. With the intervention of CAD and technologies, are we not compromising the uniqueness of each of these items and are making every piece with the same precision?
Yes, actually, we are adopting that technology, which is exclusively handloom. We are not using the power loom. And the products that is produced in power loom, this is not acceptable in our tradition and also in our market. The products of power loom has already been banned by Assam government. So handloom, Jacquard loom is totally handloom. So we use, madam, are you saying something?
Yeah, I think Ketki ma'am wants to say something. Yes, ma'am.
Basically, you please concentrate on the question that Abhinav Singh has asked. That is the losing of uniqueness. First of all, let us understand whether do you agree whether these computer-aided designs losing the uniqueness of your creativity or not, because every product will appear the same. So that way, first I would like to hear from you whether the uniqueness is lost or not. If it is, say yes or no, whatever the answer is, how can you supplement the more and more CAD designs to the people? Do we have the mechanisms to channelize that?
Thanks, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thanks for seconding my question. You have understood it.
Actually, we are using the CAD system in designing the cards only. The ultimate work is done by hand. In handloom, we are doing the ultimate work by hand. So it is
Sir, talk about we understand, sir, handloom we understand, but the design adoption and the same. Now, suppose if I come to you, I am a weaver, okay. I have learned that X design, okay. I am a weaver. I am taking X design and making my gamochas. B weaver comes, another weaver comes. She will also have the X design, same design. And again, I am also making the same design. So in the market, I will, the more number of the same design product will be there, because the design is very static or it is a fixed thing. So a comment on that. We understand it is handloom. Absolutely no problem. In fact, we are proud of it. Yeah, tell me.
Actually, in every work, we put different designs. Each and every weaver produce the items of different designs, and in each and every loom, we have opportunity to put different designs. So in one work only, the products are same, and the products of different weavers are different, not same.
Okay. Another question I would like to ask you. See,
Yeah,
suppose value addition, product, and diversification are two, three things are there. So now, do you think by how much more, if you want to diversify the things, do you have some fashion technology or those kind of a things also should be trained or added onto that? That is number one. Secondly, any gene tagging or any other specific tagging for the product, uh, to put it or you like to channelize it for it is handmade. Now, like if you see the silk saris, you have the silk emblem. So like that, suppose these gamochas are made by hands or by looms, weaver. So do you also have the things on that? And third is such a pure cotton and pure this kind of not kind of colored jacquard is there. If we want to, if you look at your work, or otherwise field work or something like that, for exporting or something. So how can you comment on that? Yeah.
We are developing one trademark named Mohura. The Mohura trademark is very much popular in our locality. So when one buyer come to buy Mohura product, then he's already convinced that this product is good product and handloom product, and the raw material used in this product is genuine. So we have already developed our trademark and tag. So it is not a big problem for us. So we have already developed the
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Thakur. May I ask Sri Selva Kumar for two, three means for some few questions there. Yeah, so see, these people have adopted very nicely the technology developed by Amruta, and they have popularized it. They have connected to the community in a wider range. Now, when you see the landslide prone areas or any other things, things are man-made, or man is also equally cause for that such kind of thing, because every the traditional things or we ignore or what happens. So whether can we also have barring the only the adding the sensor or something, technologies developed, the eco-friendly technology to keep the prevent the landslide or to strengthen the soil of the hills. I would like to take Kumar to comment on that. Selva Kumar.
Selva Kumar sir, are you with us? Sri Selva Kumar ji. I think, ma'am, he is not here right now.
But we can ask. Our office also had a lot of brainstorming had happened, and that time these people also presented the technology, very good technology. But we are forgetting this awareness point of thing. As you all know, in Himachal Pradesh, they are putting this all. Yes, they are putting. Now, pine, everybody knows, not a stable thing. Because of this pine, instead of that, Devdar and other traditional, the ecologically actually used to the way also techniques are there or ecology, so that also needs to be adopted. That is what my new tech.
Yes,
Can I ask here I hope.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking. If you can switch off your video for a while, then it might improve your audio quality.
Okay, can I ask, is it okay? Yeah, I think
no.
Sushma Devi. Bandwidth is a problem. Acha, Sushma Devi is there, I think. Sushma Devi?
हाँ जी
हाँ नमस्ते, आपका बहुत धन्यवाद, आपने बहुत अच्छे से बताया। तो आप बताइए कि ये जम्मू में और ये इसी तरह से अगर ये करना है, जम्मू तो खैर ये अगर कश्मीर में उसको रेडिकेट करना है, कश्मीर में तो इसमें थोड़ी ठंड वगैरह हो कम हो सकता है, तो आप कैसे करेंगे? ये मॉडल क्या रेप्लिकेट हो सकता है?
मैम एक बार आवाज नहीं आ रही आपकी, एक बार दोबारा पूछें।
मैं सुषमा जी, मैं मैम का क्वेश्चन रिपीट कर देता हूँ। मैम ये पूछना चाह रही हैं कि आपका जो ये मॉडल है बनाने का, जिससे आपने तरह तरह के उत्पाद बनाए हैं, क्या इनको आप और जगहों पे जहाँ पे आप कर रही हैं उसके अलावा और जगहों पे ले जाने का कोई आप प्रावधान देखती हैं कि ऐसे किया जा सकता है कि उसको और जगहों पे भी ले जाया जा सके और लोग भी उससे लाभान्वित हो सकें?
हाँ सर, अगर हमें गवर्नमेंट की मदद मिले या किसी भी एनजीओ की मदद मिले तो इस काम को हम काफी बढ़ा सकते हैं। हम तो चाहते हैं, हमारी तो ये सोच है कि हम एक और नया अंबानी बनाएं अपने गांव को।
तो वो कैसे करेंगे आप? वो कैसे करेंगे आप? कैसे सोचा है आपने?
तो हमने ये सोचा कि हमने भी एक छोटा अंबानी बनना है। मिल्क प्रोडक्ट तो हम बना ही रहे हैं। अभी हमने एक सोसाइटी तैयार किया पिक्कल की। हम अब पिक्कल भी तैयार करेंगे और साथ में जो टिक्की मसाला सब्जियों में डाला जाता है ना, वो भी तैयार कर, लेडीज को तैयार किया, 10 का ग्रुप बनाया हमने, उनको ट्रेनिंग दिया। मैंने कम से कम ग्रैंड मसाला की, मिल्क प्रोडक्ट की, फिर दूसरे टिक्की मसाला की और पिक्कल की 400 लेडीज को ट्रेनिंग दिलवाई है सर। प्रधानमंत्री कौशल योजना जो चल रही है ना अभी, पीएम की मदद से लेडीज को दिलवाई और उन सब लेडीज को किसी ना किसी काम में लगाना और इन सब को इकट्ठा करके हमने एक बड़ा क्लस्टर बनाना और अपने काम को हमने अपने देश में नहीं, हम अपना माल इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे भी एक्सपोर्ट करने के बारे में अब हम सोच रहे हैं।
अच्छा, अपने देश में या अपने प्रदेश में आपका जो सामान है वो कहाँ तक जाता है? कहाँ तक आप उसको बेच पाते हो?
सर हमारा सामान इधर बीएसएफ की पोस्टों पे जाता है, सारे जो जम्मू में इधर बीएसएफ की पोस्ट है वहां जाता है, जो बड़े बड़े केटरिंग है वहां जाता है, 1-2 होटल में जाता है और अपनी भी आउटलेट खोली हुई है हमने। जो हमारा प्रोडक्ट पनीर एक बार खा लेता है ना सर, फिर वो किसी और का पनीर खाता ही नहीं है, क्योंकि हमारा पनीर का प्रोडक्ट इतना प्योर है। जो बड़े बड़े मिनिस्टर, गवर्नर तक के घर में जो एनिमल हस्बेंड्री के मिनिस्टर आए हुए थे दिल्ली से, उनके घर तक हमारा पनीर गया।
ओके सुषमा जी, और एक मैं पूछना चाहूंगी आपसे, जो पनीर है बढ़िया है, सब कुछ अच्छा है, तो अभी ये उत्पाद हम जिस जानवर से मिलता है, जिस जानवर से हम लोग पहले दूध ले लेते हैं, तो वो जानवर जो है वो इसमें कहीं कुछ दवाई वगैरह ना हो, उनकी हेल्थ ठीक हो, या उनका ऐसे भी कोई आपका मॉनिटरिंग का या उनका देखभाल का ऐसे कोई प्रावधान है, या आप किस तरह से ये करते? बिकॉज हम लोगों को नहीं पता, जब दूध ये सब मिक्स होके ही आएगा। बताइए।
मैं पशु सखी का काम करती हूँ ना, तो इसलिए मेरी एनिमल हस्बेंड्री वालों से हम कैंप लगवाते रहते हैं। अभी उनके डॉक्टरों से अपने इन जानवरों को चेक करवाते हैं, अगर कोई बीमारी आ रही है उसका इंजेक्शन लगवाते हैं, वो हम पूरी जांच पड़ताल करवाते रहते हैं। इसी के लिए तो मेरे को गवर्नर ने बेस्ट पशु सखी का अवार्ड दिया अभी सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप में, ये 21 को मैम पिछले महीने श्रीनगर में।
ओके, जी बहुत अच्छी बात है और अच्छी सोच है, क्योंकि ये एक बड़ा काम आप कर रहे हैं हमारे ऑफिस के तहत। जैसे आज अभी कोविड आ गया, ऐसे आ गया, तो जो भी ह्यूमन मीन्स हम लोग ये ह्यूमन बीइंग और एनिमल जो साथ साथ में काम करते हैं, उनकी इस तरह से बहुत ही बारीकी से देखभाल करना उतनी जरूरत हो जाती है। अनदर थिंग मैं आपको एक सजेस्ट करती हूँ कि जैसे अभी डिजिटली हम लोग कनेक्ट हो पा रहे हैं, ये सुषमा जी बैठी है कहीं जम्मू के बॉर्डर वाले पास गांव में, ये विज्ञान प्रसार हम लोग ना हिले डुले अपने घर में बैठ के एक दूसरे से संवाद कर रहे हैं, ये बहुत बड़ी हमारी उपलब्धि है हमारे डिजिटल नेटवर्क की और इंडियन पूरा टेक्नोलॉजी और सिस्टम की। इन लोगों को जिस तरह से ऐसे है कि जो मिल्क प्रोडक्ट और समथिंग बाहर का देश का नंबर 1 प्रोडक्ट अगर आप कहीं देखें तो चाहे स्विट्जरलैंड हो सकता है या दूसरा कोई देश उत्पाद हो सकता है, क्यों ना इनसे वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग के जरिए, जैसे कि उनके प्रदेश में ये सब इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अलग होगा, काम करने का ढंग अलग होगा, बट चाहे टेक्निक अलग हो सकती है, या वो कहीं गुड टेक्निक गुड प्रैक्टिसेस हम लोग भी अडॉप्ट कर सकते हैं। आज तक तो आपका प्रयास और प्रवास इतना तक के बहुत बढ़िया रहा, बट हमेशा इसमें नए नए चीजें डालने की और नॉलेज की जो जरूरत होती है, तो क्या हम इस तरह से प्रयास कर सकते हैं कि जो पहले डिजिटल कनेक्ट करे और मे भी विज्ञान प्रसार ऑफिस ऑफ पीएसए या ऐसे, क्योंकि आप अगर और जिस तरह से आप ये सोच रही है कि एक मैं ये भी करूं वो भी करूं, नए नए इसमें डालूं, मसाला भी डालूं और भी करूं, बट उसका जिस तरह से आपने सोचा है वो पूरा बिकॉज रॉ मटेरियल तो नेचर से आता है और वो उगाना उसकी देखभाल करना, नहीं तो आज पता चला आपने बहुत बढ़िया मसाले बनाए जिससे खरीद करते हैं वो नहीं है। तो हमारा पूरा जैसे आपने अभी जो एनिमल हस्बेंड्री का जो ये काम किया है, जिस तरह से उसको अच्छे से ख्याल में रख के पूरा सब किया है, मैं भी आपको विश करती हूँ कि आप इस तरह से करें। और जो नॉलेज वाली और टेक्नोलॉजी की बात है वो आप बताएं, आप गैप एरियाज बताएं, आपका सब सक्सेस तो ठीक है, आप क्या चाहते हैं ये बताइए।
मैम मैं चाहती हूँ कि टेक्नोलॉजी वाले और गवर्नमेंट हमारी ये मदद करे कि जो चीज हमारे पास जो हमें नॉलेज नहीं है, हमें टाइम टाइम पे अवेयरनेस करती रहे और हमें नई नई चीजें बताती रहे, ताकि नई चीजों से नया काम करें।
एक काम मैं आपको बताती हूँ, एक और भी आप काम करें। देखिए आज हम लोग मिल रहे हैं, जम्मू कश्मीर हो या हमारा नॉर्थ ईस्ट रीजन हो, जो हमसे दूर दूर रीजन है, जो हमारे भाई बहन वहां रहते हैं, वहां पे जिनकी जो दिक्कत आती है, वो इस तरह से हम एकजुट होके नेटवर्क बना के हम लोग बहुत अच्छा से कुछ कर सकते हैं, जिनकी रोजी रोटी भी मिल जाएगी। तो अगर हम लोग एक चैनल बना दे, ये टेक्नीव बना रहा है, ऑफिस ऑफ पीएस बना रहा है, क्या हम ऐसे कर सकते हैं? जैसे ये सुषमा जी ने बहुत अच्छी सोच रखी, और इसी सोच जो भी एक ग्रास रूट लेवल पे है या कम्युनिटी वाले है, मेरे ख्याल से उनकी भी यही सोच है। उनको अभी ये नॉलेज से उन्होंने देखा है कि एसएनटी से कितने अच्छा फर्क पड़ा है। सो कैन वी नॉट मेक अ प्रॉपर चैनल और डिजिटली कनेक्ट करना है, अगर कोई कुछ है वहां पे भी अच्छे एक्सपर्ट्स हैं, कैन वी मेक इट, तो है ना, मेरे को लगता है
महीने में कम से कम वो ऐसी मीटिंगें रखें, हमें नए नए टेक्नोलॉजी बताएं और नई नई नॉलेज दें, इससे हमें काफी फायदा होगा और हम तो बांटने लोग हैं, हम भी नए तरीके से हर काम कर सकेंगे।
सही बात है, आप हमसे जुड़े रहिए और हम लोग बिल्कुल प्रयास करते रहेंगे। हमारे पास नंबर होगा, ईमेल होगा, अपने भाषा में भी कोई बात कर सकता है, व्हाट्सएप का नंबर भी दिया जा सकता है, ताकि कम से कम उनको दिक्कत हो रीच आउट करने में, भाषा भी हमारा अड़सर ना बने। हमारे पास कोई ना कोई होगा कि जो हमें बताएगा। आज जैसे पहल हुई, उन्होंने मलयाली में एक्सप्लेन किया या कन्नड़ा में एक्सप्लेन किया, असमीज में एक्सप्लेन किया, बट हमें जो कहना चाहते हैं वो समझ में आ रहा था। तो भाषा कोई दिक्कत वाली बात नहीं है। तो हम लोग क्या नहीं ये पहल कर सकते हैं अखिलेश, कैन आई रिक्वेस्ट देन, और जो भी ये बताते हैं लेट अस सी, क्योंकि हमारे पास नॉलेज इंस्टीट्यूशंस है, हमारे पास सिस्टम्स है, हमारे पास गुड इनिशिएटिव है गवर्नमेंट के। तो जिस तरह से ऑनरेबल पीएम पीएस एवरीबडी हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं पूरा आत्मनिर्भरता के लिए, तो कैन वी मेक दैट थिंग, चैनल बना सकते हैं इससे।
It is a very good idea.
Thank you.
And we will think upon it. Ma'am, with this I come to, I would like to again call Prakash Thakur ji. Prakash Thakur ji. श्री प्रकाश ठाकुर जी आप हैं?
जी
यस यस हेलो।
हाँ प्रकाश ठाकुर जी, मैं आपसे ये पूछना चाहूंगा कि जो यंग लोग हैं जो ये ट्रेडिशनल प्रोफेशंस में होते हैं, जैसे हैंडलूम कई प्रोफेशन की बात कर लें, तो वो ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट नहीं दिखा रहे हैं इसको अपने बाप दादा के बिजनेस को अडॉप्ट करने में। मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी की मदद से आप प्रोडक्शन तो बढ़ा देंगे, मान लीजिए कि पहले जो 10 लोग काम करते थे वो एक ही आदमी करेगा, लेकिन क्या इससे हम डिस्करेज नहीं कर रहे हैं यूथ को कि वो प्रोफेशन न लें और उनके रोजगार के दरवाजे बंद नहीं कर रहे हैं इन ट्रेडिशनल सेक्टरों में?
एक्चुअली ऐसा हो रहा है कि हम पहले उलझन में कवर करते थे 120, लेकिन अभी हमारे पास 365 वीवर्स है, वो लोग हमारे साथ जुड़ गए हैं। तो ये नहीं हो रहा है कि हमारा वीवर्स हमसे भाग गए हैं, वो लोग जुड़ गए हैं। जैसे हमारा एक एग्जांपल दे रहे हैं, हमारा एक प्रोजेक्ट चल रहा है पोटरी का। पोटरी जिस गांव में हम काम कर रहे हैं अभी, वो उसमें स्फूर्ति नाम का एक प्रोजेक्ट चल रहा है। पहले 120 हाउस होल्ड थे जो इस क्राफ्ट का प्रैक्टिस कर रहे थे। तो वहाँ उस गांव में पोटर कम्युनिटी का लोग है 300 से ज्यादा, लेकिन वो 180 से ज्यादा फैमिली वो पोटरी एक्टिविटी छोड़ के दूसरे एक्टिविटी में चले गए। तो हम जब उस एक्टिविटी में गए तो 120 हाउस होल्ड को लेके प्रोजेक्ट शुरू किए। तो बाद में 2 साल के बाद फिर जो इस एक्टिविटी को छोड़ के चले गए थे वो लोग भी जुड़ गए। अभी हमारे 120 नहीं, हमारा तकरीबन 400 हाउस होल्ड हमारे साथ जुड़ गए उस स्फूर्ति प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर। तो ऐसा नहीं कि जो ट्रेडिशनल लोग जो इस काम को छोड़ के चले गए हैं वो फिर आया नहीं। साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से वो ट्रेडिशनल एक्टिविटी को बढ़ावा मिल रहा है और लोग जुड़ रहे हैं। और आपको जान के खुशी होंगे कि जो पोटरी कम्युनिटी का काम था वो अभी ऐसे भी लोग जुड़ गए हैं जो पोटरी कम्युनिटी के नहीं है, पोटर नहीं है, वो ट्रेडिशनल पोटर नहीं, वो भी जुड़ गए हैं। तो साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी ये कर रहे हैं कि सबको जुड़ रहे हैं और ये एक्टिविटी को बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं। और सक्सेसफुल प्रोजेक्ट है ये पोटरी हमारा।
केतकी मैम, इन्होंने बेसिकली एक पॉटर्स कम्युनिटी की बात की, लेकिन व्हाट आई थिंक कि देयर इज अ फाइन लाइन बिटवीन एवरी सेक्टर ऑफ हैंडलूम। तो हम सबको वो वन साइज फिट ऑल के पैमाने पे नहीं देख सकते हैं। जो पॉटरी के लिए सत्य हो सकता है वो शायद में भी वो हैंडलूम के लिए या बनारसी साड़ी के लिए सच ना हो, क्योंकि जहाँ पे पहले 10 लोग काम करते थे वहां पे 5 आदमी ही उतना काम कर देंगे, तो जाहिर सी बात है कि रोजगार के अवसर कम होंगे। इस पे अगर कुछ बता पाए।
हमारा असम में जो हमारा एक्सपीरियंस है, हमारा मेन प्रोडक्ट है गामूसा और सदर मिथिला। तो हमारा इधर ऐसा हो गया था कि गामूसा सदर मिथिला हम बोना छोड़ दिए थे, हमारा असमीज कम्युनिटी छोड़ दिए थे। वो सब आया करते थे बाहर से, बेंगलुरु से आया करते थे, कलकत्ता से आया करते थे, विजयवाड़ा से आया करते थे। अभी क्या हुआ कि हम जब साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी इसमें जुड़ लिए तो उसके बाद हमारा गवर्नमेंट भी ऐसा किया कि बाहर का जो प्रोडक्ट है वो आना बंद कर दिया, वो बैन कर दिया। तो अभी फिलहाल ऐसा माहौल है कि हमारा जितना डिमांड है उससे हमारा प्रोडक्शन बहुत कम है। तो साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से हम जितना काम कर रहे हैं उससे बहुत बहुत और ज्यादा करना है। अभी हमारे साथ 1000 वीवर जुड़ा हुआ है, हमको चाहिए कम से कम 5000 वीवर, तभी हमारा लोकल डिमांड थोड़ा मीट अप कर पाएंगे। तो ऐसा नहीं कि हम साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी इसमें इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं, प्रोडक्शन ज्यादा हो गया है इसलिए जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटी कम हो गया है, ऐसा नहीं। ट्रेडिशनल से इसका बहुत ज्यादा डिमांड है। पहले मशीन में किया करते थे, बाहर से आया करते थे, अभी हम इसको मशीन को हम कॉटेज के तौर पे लेके आए हैं। तो ये कॉटेज इंडस्ट्री है, एक बड़ा इंडस्ट्री नहीं है कि बहुत।
आई थिंक केतकी मैम वांट्स टू से समथिंग। केतकी मैम आप कुछ कहना चाहते हैं?
इट इज अ वेरी गुड पॉइंट ठाकुर जी ने बताया। इसमें और भी एक है, यू नो, द माइंडसेट ऑफ द कस्टमर। जहाँ पे अगर आप नॉर्थ ईस्ट में जाएंगे, हाँ, कितना भी पर्सन गरीब हो, कितना भी, आज अगर हम लोगों ने देखा तो वो हैंड मूविंग को ज्यादा ये देते हैं। दे डोंट माइंड स्पेंडिंग मोर, बिकॉज उनकी जो सोच है कि हाथ से बनाया हुआ, सो यू they don't see
Ma'am, again there is
बड़ी बात है।
interruption. Again there is interruption. Sorry, ma'am, on your video. If you can.
Hello, I think my side.
Now audible, ma'am. Now audible. Yeah.
No, sorry about it. I will not switch on my videos because of the bandwidth.
Not at all.
See, there ना customer का भी mindset का बहुत means importance है. These people, they believe in this handmade and both the things work out. मेरा खाली ठाकुर जी से एक ही पूछना था कि जो कॉटन है आपका रॉ मटेरियल, are you getting in a comfortable way because or this quality or so? How about getting the raw material in time? और उसका कोई शॉर्टेज तो नहीं?
रॉ मटेरियल का शॉर्टेज फिलहाल हमारे बाजार में नहीं है। हमको रॉ मटेरियल मिलता है, सफिशिएंट क्वांटिटी में मिलता है। फिलहाल कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लेकिन बाद में प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है क्योंकि हम इसको बड़े पैमाने में ले जाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। तो इसलिए हम वी आर ट्राइंग टू शिफ्ट फ्रॉम कॉटन टू आवर इंडिजिनियस रॉ मटेरियल एरी एंड मुगा। We are concentrating on eri now. We are trying to cultivate eri in 500 bighas of land.
Yeah, IIT Guwahati has developed one very nice eri cocoon opener. You may be knowing also. And when you are growing eri, so you may require, that to open the cocoon, and also it was a very good interaction. I think we need to keep this thing and we need to keep the community connect with this kind of digital connect. Very good initiative, and I wish you everybody the very best. And that's all from my side. Any questions are there, would be happy to participate.
Thank you, Ketki ma'am. With this, we come to the end of the roundtable discussion. Thank you, Ketki ma'am. Thank you, Prakash Thakur ji. Ma'am, if we, but Selva Kumar ji is not here, but I would like to have few questions.
Selva Kumar is here.
Selva Kumar sir is here. Okay.
Yes, he's here.
Then we can continue. I think Ketki ma'am, you were about to ask something from her.
Yeah, just one question, not more. So thank you, Selva Kumar. See, what I want to ask you is that when these landslides and all are happen, Munnar is very beautifully covered. Tekadi and Munnar are very green areas and very beautifully covered with the beautiful trees and all. So now, how are the traditional methods of preserving these hills? You know, a proper soil holding capacity was proper and all, and now many man-made developments are also happening. So are you also utilizing the traditional techniques to preserve the hill or those areas, or plantation, or different methods which are tried years back?
ட்ரெடிஷ்னலா யூஸ் பண்ற டெக்னாலஜி வந்து நீங்க யூஸ் பண்றீங்களான்னு கேக்குறாங்க. இந்த ஹில் எல்லாம் ப்ரிசர்வ் பண்றதுக்கு காலத்துல இவ்வளவு நடந்திருக்காதுல்ல, இப்பதானே இவ்வளவு நடக்குது. முதல்ல எல்லாம் ட்ரெடிஷ்னலா, அதாவது பண்ட காலத்துல நிறைய அவங்க பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. அது ஏதாவது நீங்க பண்றீங்களா கேக்குறேன். பேசுங்க.
நிறைய மரங்கள் வளர்க்குறாங்க. அதே மாதிரி நம்ம நிறைய இப்போ எல்லா இடத்துலையும் மற்ற கம்பெனி இந்த மாதிரி என்னென்ன ரசாயன பொருட்கள் உண்டாக்குறாங்க. அதே மாதிரி நம்ம இங்க ஜேசிபி இந்த மாதிரி வாகனங்கள் அப்போ நேரத்தை இல்லாம இருந்துச்சு. நம்ம வாகனங்கள்லாம் இப்போ வருது. வரதுனாலதான் இப்படி எல்லாம் நிலச்சரிவுகள்லாம் வருது.
Ma'am, he was saying that earlier JCPs were not there, and these days JCBs are more prevalent. And earlier days they did not use, they were spread across for the housings. Now, if there is a 1 lakh population, it's concentrated mostly on the town and not on the remote areas. Earlier it was not like that. That is what he was saying. But I would like to add one more thing, that this particular area is was not occupied by many ancestors. It doesn't have a this history starts when the British found this place, and when they started identifying this place as a good place for cultivating tea. That's when they brought people from different parts of the India, and then they made them settled here. So this was a built-in community rather than a community that evolved by itself.
So maybe I think with your efforts, that kind of awareness or that kind of counter actions from our side, can we think about it? Either plantation or something. See, you can't prevent certain man-made developments. You can't say people that don't build the house over here. But as a counterpart, what can we do? Or can we take the help from any ecologist or the concerned people, the pressure or other things, so that we are trying to prevent the landslide by adding some of the proper measures to that, to prevent that. Apart from, because your sensor and this technology will just simply tell you, it will not prevent. It will be just like a diagnostic center of any disease. But for prevention, one has to act, and for that, I think every policy makers or every other things, and that is why the trees or particular trees in that particular fashion, the stepwise fashion or circular fashion or whichever is required fashion, I do not know, but those we can be made mandatory.
Yeah, so such
is on coming. Yeah,
such practices are also there here in this place. For example, there's some particular plant called vetiver in Tamil. So it has roots, very fine roots. So it tries to hold on the soil. So in areas like that, there you can see here in many places in vulnerable slopes, they have planted those plants. And another one thing that could be possible is taking consultation of the geologist before trying to develop or build any big infrastructure. The people, most of the people here, the real estate people, they don't consult a geologist and they sell the land, and people buy it and they start constructing these houses. So I think a geological advice has to be enforced before building houses, and that could reduce more amount of landslides in such hilly terrains.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you said it. And maybe what we can do is we can do this kind of a suggestions and try to include, because what she said, नियंद पर आपका नाम थोड़ा बताइए.
आप अपना, if you can tell your name, ma'am.
Okay, my name is Hema.
Hema. Yeah, thank you, Hema. Actually, from our side, can we also tell this as a policy, a standing suggestion, not only for Munnar area, for everywhere, if you see, because the man-made disasters are also very, very important. See, if you know the natural thing, but kind of thing is there, or so many other they are sometimes known. So if we keep those in mind and policy implemented in a proper way with doable solutions. That
ma'am,
is the takeaway. Because we are not against of any technology, but you have to have the counter kind of a thing and the awareness. See
Yes,
this,
ma'am.
so I think we would like to make this recommendation, this roundtable, all these people, that our humble suggestion is we need to do this thing. And for that, I think maybe, you can have the digital kind of a thing, whether apps are there or not. Their sophistication is something is there or not. So any alternative things where you can analyze the thing with, I think, GIS or GPS or some other technologies which are which have been done by ISRO, Bhuvan, I do not know. But we can keep an eye on that. And for that pocket, we can identify those things and we can do that thing. I think it's a very good thing what Hema Selvaraja have told. And you can make such suggestions. Is that okay?
Yeah, ma'am. Ketki ma'am, with your insights, I would like to put a question to you: whether there are any attempts to include the traditional knowledge that the people or tribes in Andamans have. They don't have any formal as such early warning system, but the traditional knowledge which they use in foreseeing the disaster that is there. Are there any attempts to replicate those sort of things?
The problem comes this way. I even though any traditional thing, okay, I respect the traditions. I respect the new techniques also. Tradition comes over the ages. Now, at even 10 years back, the situation is not the same. Things are changing. So, any traditional knowledge needs to be actually validated, revalidated, validated, enriched. And for that reason, if you want, now supposing if you say if you take this kind of a green leaf daily, it happens, that is a tradition. At that point of time, that green leaf will have certain properties, and then only it will act like that. Nowadays, if you think so maybe changes will be there. So the proper documentation of these scientific things should be done. Number two is, supposing if you are saying that whatever what she says is very correct, but then the capacity, or then you have to analyze those things, physical chemical analysis of that, really how much soil is getting adhered to that, or proper a strong structure, how strong it is, the strength. So this kind of things we need to test it, revalidate it at this juncture. Then what happens is the traditional practices also will get elevated, but at the same time it is quite transparent for the people to believe. अदरवाइज सिंपली क्या होता है कि आपने ये खाना है, आपने खाते रहेंगे, आपको इफेक्ट नहीं आएगा, यू विल स्टार्ट ब्लेमिंग द ट्रेडिशनल प्रैक्टिसेस, which is not so, because the quality of what you are taking, it may not be that what is meant. So the scientific proofing of the possible, I am not saying, so that validation with the possible scientific technologies and tradition should be done. We can have the things consolidated. That would be also a very good thing, because now we are all at this particular thing. Now 60, 70, 80-year-old people, they are actually the dictionaries of traditional practices. They would have seen much before the serene kind of a thing, or the so different kind of era. So we can gather those things and document it. I do not know, perhaps it must have been there also at local level or so, but why don't we also try that way? And language doesn't matter, since we have the digital thing. I have seen somewhere CDAC people or those competing experts, they were telling, suppose somebody is telling in Tamil or XYZ language, you can have that particular pattern and you will get translated in whichever way. Now I don't understand Tamil, I understand Hindi. So Tamil Bhasha, he will tell. I will listen in Hindi. I will tell in Hindi, he will listen in Tamil. So all those kind of good practices is possible, but we need to consolidate things. So in my opinion, language doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Only thing, consolidation and getting the proper digitization or proper swaroop हम लोग कर सकते हैं. So it is a very important to gather. I salute traditional thing also. And accordingly, we can do, it is a hybrid kind of a thing. Somewhere you are using the sensor technology. It's for sensor also, you have to dug up, you have to put it inside, you have to do all these things. So we can have the hybrid mode and do it, in my opinion. And for policy, we should be strong for this kind of a thing. So thank you.
Ma'am, before you take leave, I would also like to ask whether such models, as we have seen in Munnar, the early warning system, whether such models are replicable at large scale. Is it feasible to replicate these models at large scale economically or otherwise?
Yes, Dr. Manisha had answered this question. We had already replicated in Sikkim, and this is replicable in many other places, and we can scale it up. And depending upon the terrain and the rainfall and other climatological conditions, there will be slight changes in the sensors and the quantities, but it's definitely scalable and replicable. We have already replicated it in Sikkim.
How much it is costing? Is it very you have replicated? Whether that replication has happened through government funding or the area-wise funding or the people or something. So that would like to also know.
Yes, ma'am. It is being supported by the Sikkim State Disaster Management Authority and the central government. And
see,
Can I come in here?
I mean to say.
Dr.
Madam,
Manisha.
can I come in
Yeah,
here?
Dr. Manisha, please comment.
Yeah, so for the funding part, I think the Sikkim, we have got fund from the Ministry of Earth Science. That's how the replication happened. But in both the places, the other funding which came is from Amrita University. Other than that, we have not got funding from any other place.
Yeah,
The
so
Sikkim
I
State
feel
Disaster Management helped us in getting the field management center set up there.
No, it is perfectly fine. Your technology we have seen, we have discussed also is a very, very nicely developed technology. It is quite proven also. I still remember Dr. Jitendra was mentioning we had the meetings and also there is no doubt about the technology. Now, if we want to replicate, in my opinion, such kind of a vital technologies need not be on a research project mode, first of all. Initially, it is fine, but if you are talking about the sustainability, you need to have the proper systems in place. Maybe the state government, or maybe it's a model or something like that, because it is not only with for that person or for that area. It is actually impacting our nation, our everything. So considering this, maybe it is a very, very vital kind of a thing that we should, we need to work out. Maybe we can have the brainstorming, we can have the expert opinion and make such kind of a thinking. Look, this is available. Otherwise, these people will do it very sincerely, very nicely with the research mode. But after project is over, since we are now getting digitally connected, how are we going to get the data? How are we going to, mark the changes? It could be a climate, it could be a natural, it could be a man-made. So those kind of a long-term studies, it is not that. So I think some of the projects or some of the activities, what we are talking, especially with this Dr. Manisha's technology, which is a long drawn kind of a thing. So we need to also, suggest that maybe with government support they have come up to this level. But for sustainability, perhaps we need to work on the either PPP model or some other, co-funding model or something like that. Otherwise, technical experts say yes, it is no problem. Otherwise, what happens is good technologies you are presenting, you are making the awareness, or we can ask people to fund such things. So those kind of a mechanism, maybe as an SNT or with Techneev, we have to say, because these technologies are vital. Like they are preventing the landslide or so. And there should be, in my opinion, because it is a very, very dear to me, not only that I am the nodal officer for biodiversity, but if you see the implications and the impacts are quite long and fatal. So we need to work on that. So can we work that also? Would you like to suggest, or you can make a note of it? Maybe with our higher ups or something we can work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Ketaki ma'am, and thank you other members. Thank you, Ketaki ma'am, for being with us and for taking out your valuable time. With this, we come to the end of this session, the roundtable session. Thank you, Shri Prakash Thakur ji, Shri Shalva Kumar,
Thank you.
Sushma Devi ji, and Manisha ma'am, and all others. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste. Wishing you all the very best. It was very wonderful to interact with you and very heartening to know your efforts. I wish you the very best and keep in touch with us. We're all there for you. We are all together. We can definitely work to take our country ahead. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.